Not far away from us here in our New York studio. Of course, we're bringing you all the great harness racing action here tonight from the Meadowlands. Of course, Chris Griffin joined by Paul Verderosa, and the Breeders' Crown is over, but here we are with a little bit of a kindergarten racing as well.
Yeah, no hangover for the fans out there tonight. Can't go wrong when you have 4 stakes races. They're all worth $125,000. You're going to see some 2-year-olds out there tonight that maybe got a late start to their season, or some that have taken a little while to progress to get to where they are now. But you know what, Chris? They're ready to go for big money tonight, and they're going to try and stamp themselves at the end of the year as a 2-year-old turning 3 going forward in some big races next season, possibly.
Yeah, with all that purse money, of course, you're going to see those entries. And let's take a look at that schedule for tonight. We've got 6, 8, 9, and 11. The kindergarten 2-year-old filly trot, of course. And then you got the 2-year-olds, the Colton Gelding trot. We got a lot of those young horses here, and they're really going to showcase what they can do tonight, as you say, to kind of round out their 2-year-old seasons. And who knows what they're going to move on towards, but just seeing the Breeders' Crown and seeing all the success of the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, opportunities every year for these horses tonight.
Sure, and you know, a lot of the barns have quite a number of 2-year-olds that may not have been good enough to be a part of the Grand Circuit, you know, and to be able to race in those races. So this is a good spot for them tonight, for those that are at that next level, wanting to move up a level to be Grand Circuit.
It's the Kindergarten Series Finals at the Meadowlands. It's going to be a great night of trotting, pacing action for you. Don't forget to get involved. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime with Naira Bet. Sign up today and get a $200 deposit match bonus. The promo code, it's bonus200. Enjoy betting on over 300 tracks around the world and start winning today. Join now at nairabets.com. Gorgeous evening out there, a gorgeous evening here. And we're going to head out to East Rutherford, New Jersey, of course, because we can't do it alone. We got our Grade 1 team there, Jessica Otten and Gabe Pruitt. Happy evening to you, and it looks like a great night at the Meadowlands.
Oh, it sure is a great night at the Big M, coming up, of course, with those 4 Kindergarten Classic finals, Gabe, and an importance of the Kindergarten Classics series that they have here at the Meadowlands. They talked about it just a couple of seconds ago. Maybe not the top-tier horses in the game, but a nice series for those horses just developing.
Yeah, we've seen this series really lead the horses that have graduated after winning the Kindergarten finals to become some of the very best in the sport. We look at Walder, Jess, less than a decade ago. He's one of the, by anyone's measure, one of the top trotters we've seen in many, many years. Carl, obviously parlayed his kindergarten championship into the Hamiltonian to become the talk of the sport just a couple of years back. So it's a series that has produced a lot of good horse talent over the last several years.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, we buy these yearlings in the fall. We break them to the harness, the jog carts, and then we start putting the miles into them. Of course, then they start going training trips as well. So they're almost going more than a year now, and sometimes it just takes a couple of extra weeks for horses to maybe develop into their full potential, and that's perfectly what this series is for. It starts in the beginning of July, and now the finals, of course, the first day of November. I can't believe it's already November. But we ask a lot of the 2-year-olds. I think it's a perfect fit for some of these horses to gain a little experience before getting turned out for the winter and coming back.
Yeah, I think so, and it's I think this time of year in particular, Jess, from a handicapping perspective, we look at those horses that haven't gone, week in and week out and fought some of the battles, over the course of 12 or 15 starts. We've got some very interesting prospects in here tonight that, as you said, maybe just got a little bit of a late start. They seem to be peaking at the right time. They're lightly raced, so I think it's some interesting matchups here tonight on the card. And who knows who the next superstar coming out of this series is going to be.
Yeah, I think later on we're going to see a horse who's been facing a horse by the name of, Bojangles. So facing some really tough company there. But excited to bring you all the action live from the Big M4. Really nice Kindergarten Classic finals coming up your way. We'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks so much. There at the Meadowlands. We're getting ready for race number 5, which will be coming up. It's a field of 8. Purse 17.5, and we're going to see some of these older horses get a shot in here. So just some nice racing, just get down to the handicapping and find us a winner, huh, Paul?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the horse on the rail in here, riding to the wire. Lauren Tritton aboard, and her husband Shane, the trainer. So Lauren's having a great meet at the Meadowlands. She's really come into her own, and I think we're going to run it back with this horse, try and get 2 in a row.
All right, so you do like the one in there riding to the wire. It looked like 10-1 right now. It's floating up off of that morning line price, but we'll probably see the odds switch back and forth as we get closer to post time. Our own Jessica Otten, she had a chance to actually catch up with that driver that you just named. Here she is with more with Lauren Tritton.
Thanks, guys. I have Lauren Tritton. Lauren, before we talk about one of your drives on the card upcoming tonight, I want to talk about you in general. Before you came to the States, you had quite the resume that spoke for itself, and it's continued to grow since coming here. But it's been unknown here in the States for a woman driver to be so dominant. Maybe just speak about that.
Yeah, look, I wasn't quite aware of the male-female dominance here over in this country, but I'm happy to step out for the girls, and I work hard, obviously, and I'm just enjoying the ride while I can, and hope I can inspire a couple of girls on the way.
You were the first female to compete in the Meadowlands pace, the first female driver to compete in the Battle of Lake Erie. Let's go back to the Battle of Lake Erie. What a fun race that was.
Absolutely. It'll definitely be high up in my pinnacle of things in my career. It was just a night we'll always remember, and I think I be classed as the girl who won the battle for the rest of my career everywhere I go. But it was just the best night. It's a great race, and I hope I can get back there one day.
Speaking of first, you were the first female driver to win 3 on a card here at the Meadowlands, the mecca of harness racing in the United States. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, look, I was just having a really good night, to be honest. I'm not one to hold things like that high, but being at home, it was not something that, I didn't do often, but it's great to do it here. It is the pinnacle of track, and, I'm really enjoying all the wins I'm getting.
I read an article earlier today, and the headliner was Lauren Tritton, writing history for women. How proud does that make you?
Yeah, sometimes I have to sit down and think about it. Obviously I go back to saying I didn't know it was a foreign thing for women not to race here often. And, I have a lot of women reach out to me, and that makes me proud, and I hopefully I can keep doing it for women and make them proud.
You have a good drive up upcoming tonight, race 11, Darlin's to Lake. Can you give us a quick hit on that one?
Yeah, look, she's a really smart filly. Obviously, she has to be on her game tonight. She won really nice and easy last week, and I'm really enjoying sitting behind her. Juan and his team have done a sensational job with her, and she's very lightly raced, and I think it's just the start of her career.
Best of luck and continued success.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you guys.
Sounds like Lauren Tritton. She's got some live shots here tonight, and she's obviously shown what she can do on the track, and we'll see where she goes from here.
Yeah, what I like about her is that now she's catching drives for other barns, and that's important, and she's able to show off her skills out there. And when you bat at 23%, it doesn't matter who you're driving for, you're getting the job done, and that's what's most important here in this spot, is that she is able to go out there and do it well. And for me, it doesn't matter male or female. If you got game, you got game, and she's got game. That's the bottom line.
Sounds good. We're going to take a look at what does happen in that 5th race, and maybe we'll see if Lauren Tritton can get to the winner's circle there with the number 1. That's going to be Paul's top choice. We got plenty more here coming up when we come back on the other side of the break. We've got the Kindergarten Series all night. Great action from East Rutherford, New Jersey. Come on back on America's Day at the Races.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions. And hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races here on FS2 as we've got action from the Meadowlands all night long here on this Saturday night and a post parade. Ready to go here. And there's the one in Riding to the Wire and Lauren Tritton.
Looking to run it back off a solid effort last time out, fought all the way to the wire to win by a neck. So has the rail tonight, should be able to pace away and find a good spot again.
All right, here comes the number 2, and Don't Drop the Ball. That's Braxton Boyd.
This is a dangerous horse tonight off that last race. They didn't push hard. Tonight they'll push harder.
3 is Dreamland, Cappuccino.
Yeah, long shot got beat 8.5 last time out. Going to need more here.
The 4 will be Tom Horn, 2-1.
Didn't miss a beat. Now, he's won 4 races in a row. Coming back to the Meadowlands last time, got the job done. See if this horse can run it back as the favorite tonight.
And the 5, that's going to be Courts on Fire.
Had absolutely no shot last time out at Yonkers from that outside draw. Should be a little bit better tonight with a mid-pack post.
I didn't know Bookham Dano was in the 6, Bookham Dano.
Yeah, the standardbred version.
Standardbred version.
I wonder, he's not as fast as the thoroughbred version, but he's going to need a little bit more. He's going to need to, like, kind of channel Bookham Dano to get the job done here, I think.
Here comes the 7, Dexter Dunn, Bartertown.
Yeah, you don't get Dex that often at 12-1 here. Got an outside draw. It's a couple of lackluster starts.
And then to the outside, Pack a Punch.
I'm interested to see, because this is the horse that may actually shake things up in front if gets sent by Tim Tetrick in this spot.
Paul Verderosa, you had a good weekend last weekend on some of your selections. Who's going to win here tonight and kick things off for you here in this 5th?
It's all about riding to the wire for me on the inside for Lauren Tritton for her husband Shane. And, you know, when you look at that last race, that was a solid effort coming off of a no-shot mile and a bad draw. Now tonight, coming off that hard-fought victory, gets another good setup here with being on the inside. Lauren should be able to get some position down in there, be able to pace away and see where all the action's starting. And hopefully this horse will find a good spot and be able to pace on in the lane and run it back in this spot. I'm getting a nice price, too, at 4-1 in here.
Yeah, holding right now at that 4-1 price. That's enough from Paul as far as his selections. He might have the winner, but Gabe Pruitt, Jessica Otten, who do you have here in tonight's 5th?
Well, I think that's 2 for Riding to the Wire. Gabe Pruitt is also on board with this one. Gabe, pretty competitive field, first and foremost. You kind of got horses coming from everywhere over the last couple of weeks here into this class. 5 round under downwards, a 2, but no more than 4, with a couple of others conditions sprinkled underneath. But very solid win for this guy last time out.
Yeah, it really was, Jess. And I think actually could have been racing better last time out that he faces tonight. A little bit of an interesting roadmap into here for Riding to the Wire. He's a 4-year-old. The majority of the money on the line for these standardbred race horses at 2 and 3, but this guy was unraced at 2. He had just 6 starts last year at the age of 3, made less than $3 grand. But all of a sudden here at the age of 4, the one Riding to the Wire, a 6-time winner in 21 starts, made over $50,000. You caught up with Lauren Tritton a bit earlier there in the paddock, and she does just a remarkable job. Comes off a sharp winning effort, draws inside. I think a lot of positive indicators here for the one Riding to the Wire. I'm going to be on board here as well, and most particularly the price right now. Good number on the board as we see just the majority of the actions sit around the 4, Tom Horn.
Yeah, that was just a wee little guy back there, too. I did the interview in front of him. Small but mighty. Very nice off the pace win. Looks like he's got a little bit of gate speed as well. Just, 6 of those 21 starts this year have come to the winner's circle.
And again, speaking of his physical size, that probably makes sense why he did not race at 2 and why he was lightly raced at 3. Sometimes, horses are different. They take a little bit longer to mature. That's clearly the case for Riding to the Wire.
Tom Horn, he's riding a 4-race win streak between here and the Poconos. This is a son of Cattawash. Of course, comes from the Ron Burke barn. David Miller, obviously, is regular pilot here. He owns part of this guy as well. He's finally finding his groove after being 0 for 13 in his 2-year-old season.
Yeah, he was winless last year, too. As you said, a son of Cattawash. Who else is a son of Cattawash? Well, that'd be the undefeated Bojangles. So getting that horse in the year race with Louprint, the undefeated Breeders' Crown champion. This one didn't start off his career as Bojangles did, as you said, Jess. 0 for 13 last year, too. Actually went all the way to 0 for 22 this year at 4. That's or the 3 rather. That is the 4, Tom Horn. But since that point, the horse is now 5 of his last 8, including a 4-race win streak into tonight. So it seems to be one of those scenarios where the light bulb has been turned on. For whatever reason, this guy get a little bit, camera shy of the win department, but has been on quite the tear. I think he continues to move up and face a little bit better company. But razor sharp right now. You cannot argue with the current form of the favorite, Tom Horn.
What about Don't Drop the Ball from post 2 for Nifty Norman? Lightly raced at the age of 2, just 3 starts. Now 5 starts at the age of 3, 2 wins. But he is royally bred.
really royally bred. His mom, his dam, so to speak, dropped the ball. She was a multiple stakes winner, over $1.4 million. She's already had a couple of others here that would be siblings to the two Don't Drop the Ball that have been stakes winners. This guy particularly, he's 3 years old. He's lightly raced, just 8 career starts, 3 of those winning efforts, 7 of 8 on the board. His first off-the-board finish was here last week, unfortunately. Prior to that, he had been on quite the run. He's just another horse that is starting to get a foundation underneath of him, and he's getting better with each and every start, but a little bit of a test for class tonight. He's sitting up there at a decent price to the board as well.
Yeah, speaking of decent prices, it looks like the favorite is the 4 right now at 7-5, but good betting board, honestly, though, Gabe.
It really is, and particularly if you think the 4 is a little vulnerable, and that's how I arrive into this race. I know that he is riding a 4-race win streak. Don't want to discount that. Try not to never discount a win, but I do think one riding the wire here with Lauren Tritton has been quite dismissed. This is a horse that is in good form as well. That was a well-earned victory here last out at the Meadowlands. Again, his 4-year-old season has been a giant step forward here. I just do not think, Jess, there should be that type of discrepancy on the odds board between those two horses.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, and I need to mention, too, Courts on Fire. He's getting to drop down in class, in my opinion. He's been facing older horses like Dandy Ideal, who is just second in the Breeders' Crown, too. He's taking plenty of support right now, 3-1 on the board. Courts on Fire. A very competitive field we have here, very competitive betting board as well for race 5. We'll send it to Ken Workington. He'll have the call.
Horses are going to drop in there. You know, it's basically a non-winners of 5, right?
Right.
Are you going to get a non-winners of 5 race where you get a horse that made,
And getting ready for this 1-mile pace, of course, as they are just kind of sizing up the gate here as they're getting ready for the start. Any final thoughts here, Paul?
I think 4-1 is a solid price on Riding to the Wire. Came off that lifetime mark, 2 and 150 and 4. Unless you think this horse is going to regress from that start, this horse figures breaking from that inside draw.
You heard Jess Otten. He's a Hall of Famer. Ken Workington with the call here of tonight's 5th.
Let's pay out the 20-cent pick 5 right now with Ken.
It's post time for race 5. Field of 8 lined up. Preferred Equine starting gate picks up speed 6-5. The 4, Tom Horn, shooting for 5 in a row. At 3-1, the 2, Don't Drop the Ball, and the 5, Courts on Fire. Here they come. They're off, and Tom Horn shoots out for the Buckeye and goes for the lead. Courts on Fire on the outside. Don't Drop the Ball from the inside. Riding to the Wire, just floated away in 4th position, right to the cones. Dreamland Cappuccino is 5th as they head to the opening quarter. Then comes Bookham Dano. At the rear, it's Bartertown, and Pack a Punch is the trailer. Up front early, Tom Horn establishes command. A headstrong here with Dave Miller. Tom Horn leads it. Courts on Fire pockets up for now. 27-3 an honest first quarter. Wheeling off that turn and across the backstretch. Don't Drop the Ball is 3rd. Riding to the Wire bides his time in 4th position off the speed. Dreamland's Cappuccino. It's Dreamland Cappuccino gapped in 5th, followed by Bookham Dano. Edges to the outside to get underway. Then Bartertown, Pack a Punch, continues to trail. At the half, it's Tom Horn. Now first up, here comes Riding to the Wire. Repeat minded tonight. It's an early grind for that one at the half. 56 was the rated half for Tom Horn to take on Riding to the Wire. First over on the outside as they round the far turn, stride for stride with the pocket sitting Courts on Fire as they continue towards 3/4, 3/8 to go. Bookham Dano's now in a prime striking position, 2nd over in 4th. Don't Drop the Ball, shovel to 5th on the inside, up 3rd over as they continue to 3/4. That's Bartertown, and then comes Dreamland Cappuccino, and Pack a Punch continues to trail, and they stack up 3 deep. Bookham Dano to the outside. It's still Tom Horn riding to the wire on the outside. Pesky pressure, 123 in the stretch. Tom Horn trying to hold on, riding to the wire first over. On the inside, Courts on Fire, trying to squeeze on through, and now angles out for a late charge. But it's still Tom Horn doing enough. Now he scoots off by 2. Tom Horn is sprinting them. 5 in a row for Tom Horn and the Buckeye again. Then Courts on Fire, Don't Drop the Ball, and Bookham Dano, 150.
Trainer Ron Burke and driver David Miller teaming up there, and the short price there on Tom Horn gets it done. And you heard 5 in a row there from Ken Workington, but just got to the front, held them all off in the end.
Yeah, made it look easy too. You know, at one point I thought Dave Miller was kind of laying back a little bit and Vike and trying to get a little bit more out of him off the turn. I didn't know if he was going to continue on, but sure did and made it look easy because honestly, that margin could have been bigger than what it actually looked like at the end of the day. I know Courts on Fire finally pocket popped, but he really didn't have nothing late for Tom Horn. So 5 in a row, well-rated half too. I think getting there in 56 and change helped him out certainly, and able to wrap it up in 150.
There from Gabe Pruitt, $30. A $30 play there on a pick
That's a
four.
lot
You
for
got
Gabe.
a $16, but I like both of those plays. But you were talking about the number 2 being your single and talking about trainer Noel Daley. Has got some live shots there in that ninth, and that's going to be coming up a little bit later on to close out your pick four. And our Jess Otten, of course, you had plenty more with trainer Noel Daley.
Thanks so much, guys. Standing by with trainer Noel Daley, who will have a big say on tonight's card. He's got 7 starters, part of these kindergarten finals. Noel, we'll start with the 8th race tonight. We're actually standing right out of the stall here of Twin Bee 7 Sins. You've got 3 in there. That's 2-year-old colt trotters. Twin Bee 7 Sins, a little bit of a long shot off the inside. You've got Ultimate Betrayal and Highball Hanover in here as well.
Yeah, they're all right. They're different horses. This horse, even though he's a long shot, he's actually quite a nice horse. He's got to be better at 3. But the only 2 times he's done something wrong have been in big races. But he can get a piece of it here tonight. Ultimate Betrayal's only had a few starts. He's just coming in. He was very good last week.
Do you think that helps this late in the year? A horse lightly raced, where some of the others have got many battles?
Yeah, and this is his last start for the year. He just, we planned on having a few more starts in Kentucky, but he just sort of wasn't ready. But he was always going to be a 3-year-old, but he did show last week. Nico actually owns a part of him, and he does most of the work with him. He's done a good job with him, but he was very confident that he'd win last week, and he did. So he's tough to beat. The other fella's got an outside post high ball, but he's very competitive on his day as well if he puts his mind to it.
And you've got a pair in that 2-year-old pacing colt final, though. Signal Caller, Toast of the Town. They're going to be 3 heavy favorites here. You've got 2 of those, and they both come in a good form.
Yeah, they're different horses too, but I'm sort of of the opinion that it'll be between those 2. I think they can beat the other horse. They're a little different too. Signal Caller's always been, he's probably the quickest horse I've ever driven for a short spirit. He's not that smart. He can do things wrong, so he's got to be driven one particular way, but he's very quick. And the other horse has been nothing but honest, Toast of the Town. So.
All right, a tough pair there, the 2-year-old pacing colt final against 7 in on the kindergarten finals tonight. It's a busy night for trainer Noel Daley. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much. And of course, it's take a look at Noel Daley's Kindergarten Series entrance. He's got a lot of live shots, very honest opinion. And of course, that was Jess Otten wearing her Gabe Pruitt Halloween costume there because very popular in the harness world, of course. That was Gabe Pruitt covering that. But you talk about Noel Daley, very honest, giving you an honest opinion of how he feels about his horses coming in and talking about 2-year-olds because they can all be kind of quirky.
Yeah, no, Noel's very good at what he does for sure, and he's got a whole load of horses in these Kindergarten Series events tonight. So, as he said, some are late bloomers, some were going to have a few extra starts. They did not get to have them, and most of them are going to wrap up their year here. So it's a good measuring stick to see where these horses are at as they conclude their year for some good money on the line.
And how about your single? I mean, he was talking about Signal Caller a little bit. Did you feel like that was a real confident push going into closing out your pick 4, which hasn't started yet, of course?
Well, at least he was honest, and he said that the horse was not very smart, but it is the quickest horse that he has ever sat behind. So that gives me a little bit of hope there. But no, to be honest with you, I mean, he's run well this year, and he's going to be one of the favorites in there. It's just whether or not he has his mind on pacing tonight and how well he does against that group.
All right, really looking forward to trainer Noel Daley, who's got a lot of live shots coming up in that 9th race. But let's take one more look at the field coming up in race number 6. Does kick off our first Kindergarten Series race on FS2 here tonight. We got a field of 10, and right now you see the board kind of going back and forth. Denarius now floating up a little bit at 2-1.
Listen, Denarius tried the Breeders' Crown eliminations and went a favorite in that spot from post 9, just didn't have it. I mean, obviously, this is a much better spot now for this horse. A lot of class relief being in this series. So 2-1's probably the right price, but I think Sarah Svanstedt's going to have something to say with the 1 and 5 in this spot.
As a bettor, you got to love it when it's not overwhelming favorites. You feel like everyone's got a shot in here. Come on back, and we're going to find out exactly what does happen. Not over there at MetLife. We're going to find out what happens here on this show. America's Day at the Races. Come on back here on FS2.
Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program in Oxford, New York was created in 2018 by Wanda Palacini to provide training to transition for finding homes and new careers for horses. Horses are started with groundwork and then ridden in an arena before moving on. Horses at Purple Haze are then evaluated and adopted out based on abilities and temperament. If you have a horse that you care about, or if you're looking for a great pleasure horse, contact Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program at 518-669-2715.
And welcome on back here to America's Day at the Races. Yes, you know that Meadowlands sign. I mean, we all know it, right? It's a historic kind of sign there, the Meadowlands. And we've got great pacing and trotting action all night long. It's the kindergarten series, and we are getting closer and closer to race number 6. $125,000 is the purse. Looks pretty wide open. We're going to have a post parade here in just a bit. But taking a look at this race, it does kick off your pick 4. Paul, are you feeling more and more confident as we get closer and closer to this 6th race coming up about your pick 4 play? Because the bettors out there want to know how confident you're feeling.
Of course. You've got to be confident. What, are you kidding me? I'm not going to walk into any bet I make, and I make plenty of them, believe me.
You said you were nervous on either end, so I didn't know how confident you are going into the play.
No, I didn't say I was nervous. I said you might have the same amount of nervousness depending on who you are. I'm very calm, cool, and collected. You never see anything move. Remember, there's enough gel in this hair, nothing will move.
I will say a lot of drivers in harness as well, always calm, cool, and collected. They seem to like they're just always kind of finding their position and making that good drive. What do you think we're going to see? Are we going to see a lot of front-end speed tonight? Do you feel like we're going to see some of the come-from-behinders come from far out of it? Or do you feel like you've got to watch a few more races to kind of make that assertion?
I think you have to take it on a race-by-race, case-by-case basis, right? You have to see what the intent is for the drivers leaving the gate, see how things pan out through the first quarter, and then see what happens when you get to the backside. A lot of those horses want to make a backside brush and crush, but I think, it's all about intent, driver intent.
All right, we're going to find out some of those fractions and how they do set the pace. Pace does make the race, and we've got horses coming onto the track here for our post parade. And the number 1, that's going to be busy. Miss Lissy.
First from the Svanstedt stable, 5 for 7 this year. Had a nice big win at very short odds last week.
I feel like you like the Svanstedt stable tonight.
He always comes with his best on nights like this.
Here is the 2, and that's Kate.
Led a long way last time out. The second of the Svanstedt horses got picked off late by the 5 in here.
She looks good in green, the 3.
Finished 4th last week, beaten 4.5 lengths at the end of the day. He's going to have to pick it up a little bit to contend, I think, tonight for the big money.
Jason Bartlett, he'll be driving the 4.
This is a horse that I think has some sneaky look tonight. Had some late trot, finished second last week.
The 5 all-time trot.
And the third of the Svanstedt horses. I like this horse tonight. Got a win by a length last week. And did it in style. Put up a lifetime best.
Now second choice, but is it Dexter Dunn money a little bit here? Denarius at 2-1.
No, I think Denarius should take some money. And here's the other logical horse in this spot coming off a failed attempt to make the Breeders' Crown final.
And there is the 7 and Flying Copper.
Another Svanstedt horse beaten 5 by some of the others in this spot.
The 8 at 15-1, Andrew McCarthy.
0 for 7 this year. Would be a surprise if this horse did get the job done in here.
And
it's only 15-1.
The 9 is coming up here. Big long shot here towards the outside and kick in.
Yeah, just 1 for 10. Hasn't really threatened against the bigger names in this spot. Now drawn way outside, too.
Driver Dave Miller trying to go back-to-back here, this time on a little bit longer shot there than Tom Horn, and that's going to be Abby Blue Chip.
On its face, a couple of second and thirds were non-threatening, but from a far outside post, you never know what could happen. Maybe toe into it, grab a piece.
Right now, your post-time favorite would be the number 1 at 8-5 is taking all the action. We'll see if that does hold, but Busy Miss Lissy taking a look at her last effort before this one, 2-year-old filly by Calgary Games. What did you think of this last effort?
Oh, this was a super easy victory for this horse, and it's career best 155 as well. She's a perfect 3 for 3 in this series and is 5 for 7 lifetime. What I like about this horse, Chris, is that she's very handy. You know, she's easy to drive. She's got inside position tonight. She's going to be a handful in the spot if she can run back. It's just she's going to be a shorter price in this spot. And I just was kind of hoping to kind of, you know, step things up a notch with a little bit of a longer price in her stablemate.
5 wins, a second and a third, so she has been in the money every single start. 7 starts in 2025. Gabe, Jess, plenty more here for race number 6.
Yes, and it's going to be a good one. Of course, the first of 4 kindergarten classic finals. Aki Svanstedt sends out 4 in this final, Gabe, all sired by 4 different sires there. And they were just talking about Busy Miss Lizzie. It's the first Calgary Games crop here in North America. There's been some pretty nice horses come from it.
Yeah, really, indeed. And this is a very nice filly in her own right. The guys just speaking of her, you see her, she looks very professional. Just a 2-year-old filly here, making her 8th career start, but she's 5 of 7. She hasn't missed the board. Very close seconds and thirds in those narrow losses in her career. And Svanstedt, well, he's had some success here in the kindergarten series in the past. How about 2022? He took this series with a 2-year-old trotting filly named Bond. She followed it up in her 3-year-old campaign. She was the Breeders' Crown champion. So he's looking to make the kindergarten the next launching pad here for one of these 4.
Yeah, and this was also the points leader in the series as well. Good post to work with here. Jonathan Ali, I think he won 3 here last night. He's been making quite a name for himself over the last couple of years, and he's going to retain the drive on Busy Miss Lizzie. And another note on her as well, you know, she left aggressively 2 back from the International Stallion from post 8, beaten ahead by Southwind Chaska. The start prior to that, she was 3rd behind Southwind Chaska. Not a good Breeders' Crown for Southwind Chaska, but heading into that, she would probably be the favorite to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, she's been keeping good company. That's the point, Jess. And both of those losses from the one Busy Miss Lizzie, she's had to contend with the outside post. So she hasn't had really anything that has gone her way. Tonight, that's not the case. Obviously, she'll be forwardly placed here with post white.
We're both on board with the 6 Denarius. 3 wins from those 5 starts in her freshman campaign. This is a daughter of international money, of homebred for the Moneymaker stable, of course. Started her in the kindergarten, took her up to the Champlain. She was a winner there from post 7. She was the winner down in the Bluegrass in Lexington. She was that favorite in her Breeders' Crown elimination. She was parked every step of the way from an outside post. A couple of weeks to maybe recover from that. She's back, and she's 2-1.
That just tells you how much respect the betting public had. Jess. She had post 9, a very difficult post in her Breeders' Crown elimination. Really just nothing went right there. She tried to leave. She got stuck at the outside. Ultimately, she did not make the top 5, and she missed the final. So, you know, obviously plan B is to move with this kindergarten series tonight. The Domenico Cecere, the trader, the Moneymaker stable. Of course, Moneymaker, great mare, made over $5.5 million for Team Lindy, the Antinachi family. Of course, Phil Antinachi making quite the mark over on the thoroughbred side of the game. His family still very active here in the standardbred game as well. They've got a live filly here with Denarius. Lightly raced, as we said, she's almost a perfect fit for this kindergarten model. She did not start her racing career until August, just 5 starts in. She still seems fresh here at the end of the year. I'm going to give her an excuse for that Breeders' Crown elimination loss.
Another horse taking some action, 9-2 on all-time trot. Another Aki Svanstedt trainee. This one is by Gugu Gaga, coming off of a very nice win here in the kindergarten series last time out. A 155 effort, 27-3 at the end of it, and she's been kind of peaking as of late.
She has. You see her there just looming right in behind her stablemate Flying Copper on the monitor. And Yannick Gingras is going to get in the bike here for the first time. Jess, Yannick, probably the most aggressive driver in the sport of harness racing, at least the national stage. And I think he'll fit this field like a glove. She has tons of early speed, and I think he'll look likely to be trying to lead the gate, get her some position out there, probably as close as he can to behind her stablemate, the Busy Miss Lizzie. Interestingly enough, you saw those two score down moments ago. Yannick was trying to keep this filly a bit relaxed there. He had her in behind her stablemate, the 7 Flying Copper, so that's a bit curious here, but I still think her best weapon is early speed. I think the 5 all-time trot will be sprinting once those gates fold.
Nancy Tactor sends out the 4 Caviar Queen Emma with the nation's leading driver, Jason Bartlett, in the bike. This is a homebred for the Caviar Farms, the daughter of bar hopping. And Nancy's done this plenty of times in the past. She'll take them to their jurisdiction, race them in the lower level. As you can see there in the Stallion Series over in Pennsylvania. Came here to the Big M in the Kindergarten Classic last time out. Was a second-place finish there. As you see, Denarius looks like they're just adjusting the bike on that one. No issues there. But Caviar Queen Emma is taking some action. She's actually 13-1.
Yeah, and I do want to point out there, you see driver Dexter Dunn. You're thinking, wait a minute, where's his customary red and black? There are a couple of stables in the harness game, just like the thoroughbreds, that they'll wear their own colors of ownership. In the Lindy Farms, the Buddy Baker stable, one of those, so you see Dex sporting their blue and black as opposed to his customary red and black. But yes, the filly you noted, the 4 Caviar Queen Emma, she had missed some time due to sickness. This was a filly that seemed to be moving in the right direction. She won in late August. Her next start, she was out sick. We didn't see her for nearly 2 months. And as you would expect, she was a little bit conservatively handled last out. That was the final kindergarten leg here at the Meadowlands. She did finish a solid runner-up. The question is she ready to fire with her best punch tonight? She's up there at a decent long shot status, 13-1. I think she'll need her very best. This is not an easy group.
It really isn't an easy task. Lots of horses coming into this race in good form, which is always nice to see. But of course, the favorite right now is the one 7-5 on Busy Miss Lizzie. She is the leading point leader for this division in the Kindergarten Classic final. A 1 of 4 for trainer Aki Svanstedt, guys.
Thank you very much, guys. They're trackside. And yes, Paul, quick point.
No, just looking at the 5 on the screen right there right now. And I think that this is probably the Svanstedt horse that will possibly upset the apple cart for Busy Miss Lizzie in here.
And taking a look at right now, we're going to take a look at all-time trot, who is the number 5, and that is who you're talking about, Yannick Gingras. What do you think of this last effort?
This is my top pick for tonight. She put up a lifetime best last week. That was a nice 155 flat score. What I liked even more about this horse was how she sat pocket behind her stablemate Kate. She didn't get headstrong. She didn't get revved up. She didn't get keyed up. She waited for room to open up in the stretch, took her cue, trotted on by nicely, as you can see. I know some people say at the end of the day it was a perfect trip in this spot, but she's also improving. And I think if she can do the same thing tonight, as they said at the Meadowlands, that she was not being scored down aggressively, maybe they're looking to do the same thing and find a helmet or a pocket spot to come off of in here. And if she could take her cues like she did last week and improving, I think she's got a real shot in this spot.
Does it seem like the bettors are kind of following Jonathan Ollie a little bit? I mean, yes, they like the horse, but Ollie had some decisions to make, didn't he?
Well, I think at the end of the day, too, you have to remember that last week, Svanstedt was up at Woodbine for the Breeders' Crown, so somebody had to drive these horses. So Jonathan Ollie got to drive each horse, and maybe at the end of the day, he did make a decision on it. I'm not 100% sure. Yannick Gingras is a suitable replacement catch driver to get in the bike, of course. So I think in this spot, I think a lot of people are seeing that Busy Miss Lizzie's 5 for 7 and has trotted well, too. I don't think there's that much between the 1 and the 5 in this spot. Obviously, the bettors think differently. It's 6-5 and 7-2, but we'll see what happens.
All right, this is the start of the pick 4, of course, and Gabe Pruitt, he's going to go 1-6 in this first race. It's the kindergarten 2-year-old filly trot. Paul Verderosa, he's going to go 1-4-5-6. It's $125,000. It's our first of the night here on FS2. An exciting kindergarten 2-year-old filly trot coming up. And, of course, Ken Workington, track announcer at Meadowlands, with the call.
And the fillies are off and trotting. Kick in on the far outside, but there goes all-time trot and Denarius, and on a break goes She Looks Good in Green. Busy Miss Lizzie and Kate leaving alertly from the inside as all-time trot takes the lead. It's all-time trot, and on the outside, Kick in challenges. Busy Miss Lizzie gets away in third position. Kate is fourth on the outside and driving. Then it's Denarius fifth. At the opening quarter, Caviar Queen Emma gapped in sixth, followed by Flying Copper on the rail. Then it's Dulcinea Hanover at the rear of the field with Abby Blue Chip, and She Looks Good in green. First quarter was 27 3/5 across the backstretch. It's Kate at 22-1 with Dubé leading the way. All-time trot pockets up for Jingra. Kickan is trotting third. It's Busy Miss Lizzie in the fourth position, close to the half now. Denarius is fifth and taking a peek to the outside. Then Caviar Queen Emma. Getting underway is Dulcinea Hanover, stride for stride with Flying Copper at the rear of the field. Then She Looks Good in green is ninth now. Abby Blue Chip is 10th. 56-4, rated 29-1 second quarter for Kate, looking for an upset. Kate, all-time trot. Perfect trip so far as they approach three quarters, and she squeezes out there. All-time trot in very tight quarters, squeezes out just in front of Busy Miss Lizzie on the outside. And Kickan is now locked in the box, and looking for room is Flying Copper. And up third over, Denarius looking to rally as all-time trot and Jingra have taken over 125-4 for three quarters. It's all-time trot in front. Busy Miss Lizzie on the outside has dead aim. All-time trot, Busy Miss Lizzie on the outside, pouring it on. Then it's back to Kickan looking for third, and Flying Copper to the wire. Digging in, all-time trot, Busy Miss Lizzie. Busy Miss Lizzie at 6-5 prevails. Then all-time trot, Kickan and Flying Copper in 153-3.
And it was the number one in Busy Miss Lizzie. Jonathan Ali aboard and just getting by in the late stages of the game, Paul, and gets the victory.
Yeah, bless her heart with all-time trot because she did everything right in that race except win, and Yannick Gingras had to squeeze out of there in a tight spot to not get picked behind Kate. But Busy Miss Lizzie ended up being second over at the end of the day, sort of, before pulling out and trotting on by. It took the length of the stretch to get by, though. Game for all-time trot, and that Svanstedt guy ran 1-2 in this spot.
Yeah, looks like it was 159, your unofficial order of finish, and it was the sixth Denarius who did go off stride as they went into the lane.
Yeah, just not Denarius's night based on the trip as well when they turned for home. But take nothing away from the winner. Now 6 for 8 lifetime, and that was a nice effort.
6-5 there on the favorite. Busy Miss Lizzie gets the job done. Aki Svanstedt, Jonathan Ali, Gabe Pruitt, Jess Otten, plenty more.
Yeah, Chris, this was a heck of a stretch battle. We'll call it the Svanstedt shuffle here, because what really started to ignite all of the action was the two of the other Svanstedt trading on the front end. She started to tire. That sent Yannick Gingras with a late move there while sitting second to the outside. He was able to squeeze out just in front of his stablemate, Busy Miss Lizzie. It turned into a slugfest through the stretch between those two, but ultimately Busy Miss Lizzie through this long Meadowlands home stretch is going to wear down her stablemate all-time trot, who was dead game in defeat here as the third choice at 3-1, but it was a 6-5 choice here to kick off tonight's pick four.
Yeah, we saw that long drive there, and with that Meadowlands stretch, I mean, it did allow for Busy Miss Lizzie to really, with that quick move Yannick Gingras made, looked like maybe that was the winning move, but just could not hold off the rally.
Yeah, that was the best move he could make at that time to give his horse the best chance to win. And I like how Aki Svanstedt's talking shop with Jonathan Ali after the race is over. But, yeah, listen, Busy Miss Lizzie is certainly wrapping up her 2-year-old campaign on a high note, getting the job done here. And she looks like a horse that can move forward as a 3-year-old now, and we'll see what she will take on when her season starts next year.
Yeah, she's been pretty good as a 2-year-old, and she does have now 8 career starts, 6 of those being wins. Never been out of the money, and that is a good trot here tonight for that big purse. We're going to go to break, and we're going to come on back. We're going to close up and give you some prices here from race number 6, but plenty more. Hey, both pick 4s. They're moving on, too. They both had the 1. Come on back. America's Day at the Races.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the NyraBets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the NyraBets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with NyraBets.
Whether you maintain a food plot on the weekends, tend to a small herd of livestock, or work in professional landscaping, New Holland's family of Workmaster and Boomer compact tractors at Clinton Tractor can get the job done. Known for delivering outstanding value for their performance, these reliable, powerful, and easy to operate New Holland compact tractors will help you tackle your to-do list while being easy on your wallet.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race from every track on every screen every day. Monthly packages starting as low as $5 per month. RTN gives you great value and access to more HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire.
Busy Miss Lissy. Jonathan Ali, driving duties, gets the job done there for trainer Aki Svanstedt, who had a few shots in that 6th race. It's the kindergarten series, and we did kick things off in a 2-year-old filly trot, and it was the #1 Busy Miss Lissy in a slugfest as Gabe Pruitt with the 5 all-time trot, who almost trotted too good to lose in that spot ball.
Yeah, I was impressed with both of these horses from the Svanstedt stable, honestly. All Time to Trot seems like she's grown up now and is able to actually sit behind horses and be comfortable with it, and she was able to get out again this time. Just couldn't hold off Busy Miss Lizzie in that spot.
And 99-1 there on kick and to close things out, so nice trifecta payout, so a nice payout in that 6th race here tonight. We've got plenty more coming up, and we're going to be talking about plenty more of the races coming up, but your pick 4 moves on. It wasn't your top choice, but you kind of back into it. You can still get the favorite.
Yeah, I'm still calm. We're good. We're good. We're no nerves here yet. See, my hands are not shaking. We're okay.
And Gabe Pruitt also moves on in his pick 4. So as long as we continue on, that just continues to build the excitement for the bettors out there. But what we saw from Aki Svanstedt, he has some contenders in there. Kind of interesting that he did drive one in that race, but you know, to be able to see the ones that he trains and to really see them succeed, he's kind of got a good vantage point as well, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to mess around with his horses in the race, but he's always out there driving one of them as well, so it's always good to see him out there, and his team does a tremendous job with everything that they bring to the track. They're always well prepared, and they're always physically and mentally ready to go no matter what the spot is.
And you were also talking about what this could mean for the future. I mean, you take a look at a horse like Busy Miss Lissy, and we did see the Breeders' Crown last week, and we saw tremendous 2-year-olds in those trots and paces, but now when they get an opportunity here, when they get a win tonight here in the kindergarten series, what does this look like maybe for their schedule for the rest of the year and going into next season?
I would think at this point, I would think that Busy Miss Lizzie's probably done. Maybe we'll see another start out of her. I don't know exactly what's coming up in the condition book, or condition sheets, I should say, for her. But even with the time off, she's someone to look forward to now for a 3-year-old season, especially if there is growth, you know, not only physically but mentally. And if she comes back stronger than she has in her 2-year-old season, it's been a pretty successful year, I think they would say.
Yeah, and it's something that we talk about plenty on the thoroughbred side and the harness side, is that these 2-year-olds, they continue to kind of blossom maybe even later in the year as they do get older, because as we'll see throughout plenty of harness racing on FS2, on America's Day at the Races, that as these horses do get older, they still just continue to improve, and you're going to hear some of these names later on.
Well, one of the fun things about the divisions, especially 2-year-olds, is the catch-up game, right? You know, some start off and they're racing out of their skin, and they're heads and shoulders above the rest of the class. And then as time goes on, you see some horses start to gather their momentum, they start to figure it out, and they start to play catch-up, and they start to be able to win against some of the bigger named horses. So, you know, there's obviously going to be natural growth from 2 to 3. We see it all the time with horses. So we'll see now next season if Busy Miss Lizzie comes back stronger, and we'll see what other fillies out there have also come back stronger.
Great point. All right, race number 7 is going to be coming up. We're going to see if Gabe and Paul can continue on in their pick 4s. $15,000 purse. 1 mile will be the distance here for pace. And we start talking about some of those older horses I was alluding to, that they can continue going on. You kind of forget sometimes we got the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. We've still got some really hard-knocking veteran-type horses, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and you'll see them in this kind of race here in race 7.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not like horses like some of the ones you're going to see in here, regardless of what their odds may say? You have horses in here that are 30 for 89 lifetime, 22 for 102 lifetime, 26 for 161, 20 for 83, 27 for 132. This is what makes the game, right? You have horses that show up every week. They are blue-collar workers. They're out there, they earn their keep, and they love what they do.
Yeah, they love what they do, and Jason Bartlett right now will be driving the number 3. It's in the stars. He's been fantastic and tremendous, and he's had a tremendous year.
Yeah, and I'm very happy for Jason. Great guy. Was able to talk to him and spend a little time with him on Meadowlands Pace Night and also Hambletonian Day. And it was great to see just how onto the national stage he has gotten this year, with Grand Circuit drives. Because Jason was a guy that would spend a lot of time just around Yonkers. So it's good to see.
All right, winning connections here. Jessica Otten with plenty more from tonight's 6th.
Thank you, guys. I have Sarah Svanstedt of an important role in Svanstedt Racing with me. 4 nice fillies in that final, 2 of them battling near the wire, but busy Miss Lizzie, she's been a very nice 2-year-old filly for you guys.
Very nice, and like I talked about before, she's very small, but a heart of gold and an attitude that no one takes away from her.
Talk about the kindergarten series in itself. Of course, we all know it's a long season for the 2-year-olds. Maybe some of them need a little bit more time to develop. It's a perfect series for horses, kind of like Busy Miss Lizzie.
Yeah, when they don't have all those Cyrus Stake races either, it's a great one, and also that they start early and also going in the fall, and you get points and you have a very nice final in the fall. So yeah, it's a nice one.
Is she done for the season?
She has a Goldsmith made too, so we will see what we do after this. It's starting to get late on the year, and next year is coming faster than we want in a way, so we haven't decided yet.
What about Magic Pump coming up in the 2-year-old colt trot?
Had a very good week and everything normal, and is a tremendous racehorse too, so I'm excited to see both him and Mr. Penner.
Congratulations, best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
We'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jessica Otten there with the winning connections. And of course, all the connections are taking a look just like we are as the handicappers. And, where do we go next? Is this kind of where we kind of just go back to the barn and recharge and get the horses out? Or do we keep on going? Still plenty of opportunities to make some money.
Yeah, as she said, the Goldsmith Maid will be potentially on Busy Miss Lizzie's list. Or if they feel the horse isn't ready, they'll just turn the horse out for the winter and get the horse ready for a 3-year-old campaign, and hopefully a lucrative one, because by the looks of it, she looks like she can contend with some of the bigger named horses possibly next year.
The pick 4 continues on here, second leg, and you went 4 deep. Gabe went 5 deep. So it just seems like we have no clue really who's going to win. It could be anybody.
We'll see. Hopefully one of our horses.
4 deep, that's a lot of horses to put in there in the pick 4.
That depends. I mean, I thinned out late.
That's true. You got a single coming up in that last leg. Hey, talk about year end and the year end honors, of course. And there's a horse that has really vaulted to the top, and it's, of course, a horse that we saw here on Breeders' Crown Night. He was extremely impressive, and that's Bojangles.
12 for 12 this year, and the richest, horse in harness racing history. Not history, I should say, harness racing this year. Let me correct myself on that one. And I'm going to take probably a road that some people are not going to like about Bojangles being horse of the year. I know that this horse has faced everything thrown at him, but I'm sorry. I just cannot get over the fact that he has not raced outside of Canada. Again, not by his doing. Obviously, his connections kept him there. And he's faced a lot of Ontario Sire Stakes fields. Now, don't get me wrong. When he's faced bigger named horses and when he's faced tougher fields, he was able to get the job done. But I don't feel, even at 12 for 12, that his body of work is better than the body of work of horses like Louprint or even Lexus Cody to some level.
And for folks that may be newer to the show and may not follow us year-round, we want them to, but in essence, you're saying, in sports terms, he always had a home game. He never had to go on the road. He always was playing home games.
He was. But, I mean, that doesn't – listen, I don't hold it against him for the fields he ran against, and he beat those horses like he was supposed to most nights. But for me, I just feel like the body of work for a horse like Louprint was a lot more taxing and a lot more tough than what Bojangles had to face.
Fair enough. All right, Paul likes Louprint. He feels like he's going to be horse of the year. Bojangles, maybe horse of the year. Let's find out what Gabe and Jess think. Who do they think? Bojangles, Louprint, somebody else? We're trying to get some answers. Who do you got?
Oh, well, I wish we had the answers, that's for sure. We're going to have to wait till late February to find out who Horse of the Year is going to be, guys. But Gabe, they make an interesting point because things didn't quite go the way the connections for Louprint wanted to them, of course, Breeders' Crown weekend. But that leaves a lot of question marks as well. You had a horse like Yo Tilly win. You had a horse like Lexus Cody lose. You had a horse like Twin Bee Joe Fresh who didn't even get to race.
Yeah, I still think this is going to come down to a match race as far as Horse of the Year goes. You know, Bojangles, 12 for 12. You know, it's really hard to debate anyone that, you know, goes against or, you know, that is in the Bojangles camp. You know, he's done everything asked of him. He comes off his fastest career performance ever last week in that Breeders' Crown final, and he's made over $1 million, too. So, I mean, he's really an incredible colt. It's a tough crop this year, by the way, as well. So I think that's, you know, also something to take note of. You know, this is a type of crop that it is very impressive to go undefeated. And having said that, as Chris Griffin said, Jess, he has never played a road game.
That is
the
true,
Dodgers are in the midst of finding out how tough a road game is right now. So that's the key question. Louprint is a horse that has been all over the place in the sport. Obviously, won the Little Brown Jug, made over $1 million. So he is a horse that is well-traveled. He had a little bit of a health issue, missed about 45 days. So, you know, he's had his issues, but really only one bad race. That was that Breeders' Crown final. Here's what I'll tell you. I think sometimes we see an overreaction. The voting doesn't take place tomorrow or tonight even. I think when the voters have a chance to settle back, take a look at the body of work, as Paul is alluding to, perhaps it is Louprint who comes out on top.
Yeah, you know, I have a vote in that weekly poll each and every week, and I feel like a lot of times it's what have you done for me lately, not over the course of the whole season. And to their point, too, and we'll hear later from Ron Burke as well, the 2-year-olds may not have to travel as much. Take nothing away from Bojangles. He's an incredible animal, but he never left his home track. He didn't have to travel, whereas, you know, Frantic Hanover, we'll take for instance, he was down in Lexington. He was up in Woodbine Mohawk Park. He was in Pennsylvania. So he did a lot of traveling. Bojangles did beat him, but so it'll make it interesting. And for sure, towards the end of the year, when Louprint obviously is now announced that he won't be coming back to the races, it'll be an interesting race for there. But to Louprint's point, he traveled all over, everywhere. He did 2 heats in the jug. He went down in Lexington, the sub-147 mile as well. So it's going to come down to a lot, and I'm excited to see what it shapes up to be. But for now, Bojangles does lead #1 poll in North America, guys.
Yeah, Paul, and you know, Gabe talking about a kind of a match race between those two. I think it's pretty interesting that Yo Tilly is sitting right there at #2. I think that's going to create some separation in those votes. We got a post parade coming up here, race number 7, wide open race. Looking at those pick 4 tickets, it seems like it's wide open here, Paul. Let's get a post parade. The 1, slip the Hundy.
Maybe the drop in class will help in this spot and draws the inside yet again. We'll see what happens. He's had a little trouble in his last few starts. Seems like the form's kind of slipped a bit.
The 2 is Duke of Cornwall.
Nice drop and pop, a couple of starts back, and then fired off another one last week from post 10 here at the Meadowlands.
The 3, Jason Bartlett, there he is. It's in the star.
Just missed last time against Southwood Gentry, who we'll see a little bit later on, who's a nice class horse.
Tim Tetrick, the 4, Captain Marvel.
Be 3.5 lengths in that same race with Southwood Gentry 1. Going to probably need a little bit more here.
The 5, 10-1, Storm the Court.
Drop did him good back on October 18th. Got some solid early pace to him.
The 6 is Bobcat Bay.
Nice second last time. Missed to a horse called Springsteen, but is now up in class a little bit tonight.
Andrew McCarthy's going to be driving the 7.
3 for 27 this year. Does like to finish second, though. 6 seconds there.
Todd McCarthy will be driving the 8 there, Arden Messi.
Yeah, has been kind of soundly beaten in the last. Just had no chance, too. He's kind of lost the early pace as well.
There's T.H. Tyson.
T.H. Tyson's not a bad horse. Had more to travel than the winner last time riding to the wire. Riding to the wire didn't run too well, though, in race 1.
Yannick Gingras, Ron Burke to the outside, Steely Knife.
Can't discount anything coming from the Burke barn, even from post 10 right now. Got beaten 3/4 of a length in that race that Bobcat Bay finished second in.
All right, does seem like a wide open race, but where do you go as far as your top pick, Paul?
I'm going to end up on the 2, Duke of Cornwall in here. Draws well. Is in form right now at the moment. Dropped and popped, as I said, 2 starts back over at Pocono, got the job done, then came back here to the Meadowlands, was able to get the job done from off the pace, came a long way, came home in 27-4 for a nice 151 mile for that upset post 10. Now draws better again.
I like it. 9-2 right now, Duke of Cornwall. Jess, Gabe, plenty more here tonight, 7.
Yeah, very nice group we have here for the overnights here in race 7. Gabe, still alive in that pick 4, right?
Yeah, we did. Started with the favorite, so, we're not looking to pat ourselves in the back too much just yet. This leg, though, a lot more wide open, Jess. In fact, I don't even know who's going to be the favorite in this spot.
No, it's definitely a tough group in here. You went to the 9 on top, T.H. Tyson. David Miller is going to take over the driving in here. Just beating a neck last time out here at the Trackmaster 86 level. Back in that level again tonight. Going to have to overcome an outside post.
Yeah, he is going to have to overcome a tough post. And, an argument could be made that he probably should have won that last race. He was third, but he was only beating a neck. He had Dead Amy, just could not rally by in the late stages. A tricky post tonight, but here's the difference. We do have Dave Miller at the bike now for trainer Chris Ryder as well. Chris's son Pat was the driver last week. He does a nice job at the bike. But Dave, well, they don't call him Purple Jesus without a reason. He's the second leading money-winning driver of all time, Jess, in excess of $290 million. Does a superb job at the bike. Already a couple of wins in the car tonight. I thought that driver change could be key, but Dave is going to have to find a way to get the 9 T.H. Tyson involved in this race.
You're looking to find and beat the favorite, I guess. You're looking to find a price, beat the favorite. The favorite is the 3 right now. That's It's in the Stars. Jason Bartlett, Jeff Cullifer teaming up here. Big effort in that 9 hours and 7,500 last time out. Gabe parked every step of the way, just beating 3/4 of a length and pacing 50.
Yeah, he raced really well. I just don't think there's that much separating him to the rest of this field. So I think it's a little bit of an overreaction by the betting public just to make him an odds-on favorite here. I just think this is a much more evenly balanced field than that would indicate. He did race very well. I'd also make the argument this may be a little bit better group. He does love to win. You have to respect his credentials into tonight. He's 8 of 32 this year alone at the age of 7, so he's won a quarter of his races here in the 2025 campaign.
Lots of value to be found underneath. You use the 4, that's 13-1, and you use the 8 as well. 47-1 on that one. 3-5, now 4-5 on the 3. It's in the Stars. Jason Bartlett, Jeff Cullifer looking to team up here in the 7th. Here's Ken Workington with a call.
3, It's in the Stars. 6-1 on number 9, T.H. Tyson. On gate, race 7 ready for start. And here they come. They're off. Bobcat Bay is out fast with Bondi Lockdown on the outside and Storm the Court leaving along with them. It's in the Stars just floated away, and from the far outside, Steely Knife looks to get involved into the top 5 now into the first turn. Duke of Cornwall backs away 6th on the inside. And then comes Captain Marvel on the rail, followed by Arden Messi at the rear of the field. T.H. Tyson next to last. Gapped at the back, slipped the Hundy. A torrid opening fraction of 26-2 for Bondi Lockdown. Bondi Lockdown now on the outside. Here comes Storm the Court, repeat-minded tonight, and takes the lead for Braxton Boyd. Bobcat Bay now tracks along in 3rd position. It's in the Stars is 4th. To the outside goes Duke of Cornwall underway from 5th. Steely Knife on the inside 6th. Then it's Captain Marvel on the outside with the Arden Messi, followed by T.H. Tyson, and dropping out of it, Slip the Hyundai, a distant trailer. 54-4, pretty lively clip here. It's Storm the Court in front at 7-1. Storm the Court. It's in the Stars, has to do it first over and comes up to say hello. A live tow for Duke of Cornwall on the outside. Still 3rd in the inside and locked in now, Bondi Lockdown. Up 3rd over is Captain Marvel, stride for stride with a locked-in Bobcat Bay at 3/4. And they hook up here, Storm the Court. It's in the Stars. It takes it to him. Bondi Lockdown, Duke of Cornwall, and Captain Marvel to the outside. 1:23-2. They're into the stretch drive. It's in the Stars, and Jason Bartlett steamrolls first over. And the table set for Duke of Cornwall on the outside, who rode his live cover and looks to capitalize. Duke of Cornwall. It's in the Stars. Duke of Cornwall at 9-1 with the upset. Brad Chisholm and Duke of Cornwall. Well-driven winner here over It's in the Stars. Bondi Lockdown and Captain Marvel. 1:50-2.
Paul Verderosa, look at you, 9-1 there. Duke of Cornwall, Bradley Chisholm, they get the victory.
Things could not have worked out better for this horse. They went fast early. They strung them out. He was able to flush out the cover of the favorite, the 3 It's in the Stars. Second over, when they got to the stretch, he was just loaded. You could see Bradley Chisholm wasn't even moving until they got to mid-stretch. He was able to power by It's in the Stars. I can't believe I got 9-1 on this horse who's now made it 3 in a row, who's in form and back to his winning ways. Lifetime score number 17.
Yeah, fantastic job there by you, handicapping, and also by the 2 Duke of Cornwall. Found a really nice trip right behind It's in the Stars.
Oh, 100%. And I think, you know, especially with the pace early on and them getting strung out, he was able to find a nice, good spot, and he was able to flush out that cover of the 3-5 favorite It's in the Stars, who took in a lot of air going first over into that 3/4 and was able to just flip off that cover and just pace away in the stretch.
Gabe, Jess, what did you see? The 2.
Well, it was one out of my playbook, Gabe. I love taking horses on the way up when they're racing well, and that's exactly what Duke of Cornwall has been doing. 7th start here in his 7-year-old campaign. No, not raced last year. He's rounding into form, and it couldn't have worked out better for him tonight.
There's no question. This horse is back. Now, this was a stakes performer, Jess, that missed his entire 6-year-old season due to injury, and he is really getting his footing back underneath. As you said, now 3 of 7 and 3 in a row since returning to the races here at the age of 7. 17th win, as the guys mentioned, in just 36 career times. And we talked about it's just that type of race where it's competitive and wide open. The pace was lively. We knew sort of the early speed horses may tire off that. It was Duke of Cornwall, who was absolutely perfectly placed by driver Bradley Chisholm, and he got to follow the favorite. That took him where he needed to go. He vaulted off that horse and was able to gun him down in the stretch drive. Hats off to Paul here. Nice long shot in leg 2 of this pick 4.
Thank you very much, guys. And taking a look at Duke of Cornwall, who's headed back to the winner's circle there. And it's always nice to go to the winner's circle. Paul, nice selection, of course. Hey, when we come on back, let's take a look back at some big wins with Carl. Right back here on FS2, America's Day at the Races. There he is. That's Carl.
A provision in a bill passed this summer reduces the tax deduction for wagering losses from 100% to 90%. This unfair change would tax horse players on a percentage of their losses, could cost over $1 billion in handle, and threaten thousands of jobs in the racing industry. That's why the NTRA is fighting to pass the Wager Act, a new bill that would restore the deduction to 100%. Tell Congress to pass the Wager Act. Visit ntra.com/wager.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Visit NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app to get started. Don't forget about that promo code, BONUS $200. There is Duke of Cornwall, top selection from Paul Verderosa. Of course, his Pick 4 ticket's going to continue on. Bradley Chisholm with the driving duties there for trainer Kelvin Harrison, the 7-year-old by Sweet Lou.
Nice to see this horse now have 3 wins in a row, too. Started the season off 0 for 3, coming off that injured season at 6 and now at 7. You know, to reel off 3 wins in a row, you can tell that this horse is now back in form and starting to regain his old form, and just fell into a really nice, perfect trip in this spot. You know, they went fast early. They strung this field out, was able to get to the inside, was able to flush the cover of the favorite that he's going to go past here. It's in the stars. And when you're able to do that, and you got a horse, parlay it into a nice win.
There was the number 2 Duke of Cornwall getting the job done. Nice trip, nice journey, a $20 winner there. Top selection Paul Verderosa. Nice trifecta, nice superfecta payoffs there in tonight's 7th race. So good all around if you had it. Thanks for following along. And race number 8 is going to be coming up. We're back into our kindergarten series. Of course, $125,000 purse. It's a 1-mile trot. And we're going to get the boys here on the track this time. And Magic Punk right now, Jonathan Ollie. He's done it once already. Can he do it again? They're 4-5.
Yeah, there's that Svanstedt fella again. So he was another one that was an easy winner last week, because once this horse cleared at the quarter, it was all over but the shouting. So nice horse in this spot. Hasn't been worse than second. 6 out of the 7 career starts. So legitimate favorite in this spot. I'm going to try and beat him, though.
All right, that is the setup there. Field of 10 going to go in the 2-year-old Colton Gelding trot, of course, at 1 mile, $125,000 purse. Really looking forward to that. But historically, this race in 2023 can be the launching pad, as we've talked about, and this was an especially special 2-year-old, and there is Carl.
Yeah, and you know, when you watch him run, even in this spot, you knew he was going to be something special. It was just a matter of being able to put it all together, which ultimately he was able to do, and he did use this series and this final as a springboard to that. And he obviously went on to bigger and better things, as we know. But from a 2-year-old standpoint, you know, it did take him a while to get himself going, but this was a good spot for him and a good, you know, confidence booster and career booster for him in that 2-year-old season.
Yeah, that's why you got to watch all these races really closely, because they can be those late improving type 2-year-olds and really vault into the next season to be some absolute superstars. Gabe and Jess, I know you got a chance to see a lot of Carl throughout the years, but off of that performance, really a superstar can come from anywhere. These 2-year-olds can really blossom late in the year.
They sure can, and I think Carl is a perfect example of that, Gabe. You know, he started later in his 2-year-old season, of course, down in Lexington, Kentucky at the Red Mile. When that season was over, he came up here, grabbed some points in that kindergarten series, won the kindergarten series, and then ended up going on for the Valley Victory as well. But it just goes to show waiting on 2-year-olds can pay off, because now you can see the sweet win in the Hamiltonian.
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. You'll see Yannick Gingras there, the driver, emotional. His first Hamiltonian win, Jess. Yes, we did all get soaked, but what a cool day for Carl and his connections. He took the big one, the sports marquee race on the first Saturday in August each and every year here at the Meadowlands. And they could not rain on their parade that day. Trainer Nancy Tactor, Michelle Crawford, and crew. It was a huge win. Yannick Gingras get his first Hamiltonian after some bad breaks there. He shared an emotional moment there with his family. And you see Carl just cool as a cucumber there in that Hamiltonian winner's circle.
Yeah, and then, of course, Carl at the age of 2, he was a Breeders' Crown winner over at Harris Hoosier Park, too. So kind of took a different path, but it all paid out for his connections in the end. And now he's going to be standing stud right here in New Jersey.
Yeah, Carl, we're all excited to see him move on to his next career. Another horse that won the kindergarten, Jess Walner, in 2016. You know, he's perennially one of the top trotting stallions in the sports. So, you know, this race has seen some champions move through. There's no question about that.
No, definitely not. Excited to see what new champion is going to come out of the 2-year-old Colton Gelding Trot Kindergarten Classic Final. Nice group that they have here. Points leader, of course, Practical Man for Jim Campbell and Todd McCarthy. It's going to be a good one. I'm excited.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it's horses, you know, taking different angles into this one tonight. I'm excited to talk about my top pick. I really one of my best bets of the night in here, but I'll save it, guys, for after the post parade. This is a good group going to go postward here, the Trot.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, looking forward to this 8th race. And, of course, there's a lot of good horses and late improving types here coming up in this race. And one of them is the 5 in Lindy Living. And there's a big connection to Lindy Farms, of course, and Phil Antinachi.
Starting out as a young racehorse trainer is no easy feat. But Philip Antinachi comes with the right experience and resume. After growing up in the world of harness racing, Antinachi honed his thoroughbred skills in Sheikh Mohammed's Godolphin Flying Start program.
It's a 2-year scholarship program fully sponsored by His Highness, and you travel around the world working for his various operations. We call it the Harvard Business School of Thoroughbred Racing. You're able to spend some kind of placements at places that you can actually just choose. I admire the way they run their business. I'd like to go learn from them. And for me, that was, I spent 3 months with Todd Pletcher at Belmont, and also I spent 3 months with Mark Johnson in the north of England. I think I was a little naive at the time when I took it on.
Antinachi has clearly taken his lessons to heart, evident at his family's Lindy Farms, which includes a European-style gallop for the thoroughbred trainees.
And we spent a bit of time over there and saw their uphill training gallops, and we replicated that in Connecticut. It's a 7-furlong wood chip, fully irrigated with turf as well. So it's a little bit of a European influence in America.
Perhaps most important, the family has a successful history in harness racing, from running a multi-generation standardbred breeding and racing institution to campaigning 5 Hambletonian winners. Antinachi has long been learning from the best.
Jimmy Tactor, for those that don't know, he's the most successful standardbred trainer of all time. When I launched my operation, he's someone that I kind of brought in as a mentor. You're a sports psychiatrist, you're a physiologist, exercise physiologist. You try to plan races as well as just running a business. And it's kind of been an instilled family value that, the people that join your team and work for you are as part of your family as well. And I think the same mentality comes with your horses, that we have the duty to take care of these athletes and treat them the best we can and make sure that they can perform to the level of their God-given talent.
Really tremendous feature there, and taking a look at Phil Antinachi, he's got a big, bright future ahead of him, obviously. But to have that breeding in you, to be around the horses and to be involved in the harness program, and you see Lindy Farms owning the number 5 here coming up in the Meadowlands 8th race, of course. But to be able to now go into another racing program and then become a trainer and learn from all the best in the game, really working hard, but really getting some great opportunities and just kind of expanding from there, really growing.
Yeah, all about foundation, right? Solid foundation.
Yeah, race number 8 is coming up here, and we're going to see if Lindy Living can get the job done. 19-1 right now. Dexter Dunn. Plenty more on the other side of a break. Come on back. America's Day at the Races.
Ever dreamed of owning a racehorse? Well, now you can for free. Introducing freeracehorse.com, where you get a real share in a real racehorse at no cost. Be part of the action. Get VIP access to training, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and experience the thrill of the race like never before. Sign up now at freeracehorse.com and claim your free ownership share today. Don't just watch the race. Own it.
Champions are made on the racetrack, but many of them are born, raised, and developed at farms right here in New Jersey. New Jersey is home to nearly 100,000 acres devoted to the horse industry, and harness racing's breeding and training facilities play a vital role in protecting open space and supporting agriculture throughout the Garden State. With the state's ongoing recognition of the importance and value of the standardbred industry, New Jersey will remain a place where champions are made. To learn more, visit sboanj.com.
The world's premier breeding stock event, the November sale at Fasig-Tipton. A night of stars featuring over 70 graded stakes winners or producers, and no less than 30 Grade 1 winners or producers. Champions, millionaires, elite producers, and selected weanlings. One catalog, one spectacular session, one star-studded evening with the highest concentration of quality breeding stock anywhere in the world. The Fasig-Tipton November sale, November 3rd in Lexington, Kentucky. Where will you be?
Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program in Oxford, New York was created in 2018 by Wanda Palacini to provide training to transition for finding homes and new careers for horses. Horses are started with groundwork and then ridden in an arena before moving on. Horses at Purple Haze are then evaluated and adopted out based on abilities and temperament. If you have a horse that you care about, or if you are looking for a great pleasure horse, contact Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program at 518-669-2715.
Welcome back to the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey. America's Day at the Races, and we got post-break coming up here for race number 8. It's the Kindergarten Series. A 1 mile trot, $125,000. Big favorite right now in the 6 Magic Punk. But let's take a look at this field for tonight's 8th. Coming up, and the 1 is going to start things off. It's Scott Zeron. It's going to be Twin B, 7 cents.
Yeah, it picks up the money man in the bike, going out for Noel Daley. Got beat 3 1/4 last time. 4 for 10 this year. Kind of been all or nothing with him.
Money man indeed. 54 to 1 right now. The 2 is going to be Practical Man, Todd McCarthy.
I like this horse. You know, tonight, this horse is only 1 for 10, but it's been nibbling his run, has trotted up races that have been good enough to be competitive in here. Just needs to get a trip in here and be able to parlay it into a win.
Yeah, only that 1 win in 2025. Aki Svanstedt on the 3, Mr. Penner.
Broke last time, but the start before that wasn't that good either. Is going to have to get himself back into form.
And another price here, Ultimate Betrayal.
Did win last time out, and, you know, it's kind of sneaky horse because 2 starts back, had trot, nowhere to go.
Lindy Farms, there's Lindy Living.
Yeah, talk about a 25 to 1 in this spot. 3/4 of a length behind Magic Punk and Lindy Living last time out.
There is your big favorite right now, 2 to 5, Magic Punk.
Well within himself, and, you know, you take a look at the losses this year, and they came against Apex and Ardon, and they won the Houghton and Wellwood Memorial respectively.
The 7 at 14 to 1, Yannick Gingras.
Led a long way before finishing 3rd last week in that spot.
And the 8's going to be Whose Eyes Blues?
Not mine.
No.
Brown for me. 69 to 1 in this spot, long shot player.
The 9, Highball Hanover.
Another horse in here that I like too. I like the driver switch over back to Andrew McCarthy in this spot, and we'll see if this horse leaves with a little bit more position now from an outside draw tonight.
And 60 to 1 towards the far outside, Southwind Alamo.
And no shot last time, broke before the start, never got it going. Did win 2 starts back, but it was against much, much lesser.
2 to 5, a very short price here on the 6 Magic Punk. Jonathan Ali will be driving. Paul Verderosa, why are we seeing a very short price on Magic Punk?
A couple of things here. You know, last week this race was over, as I said earlier, once this horse was able to trot to the top and make it there and just put away this field relatively easily in that spot. His hands never moved on him. You know, you could watch Jonathan Ali in the stretch. Maybe there was a little time we kind of shook just a little bit there, but this horse well within himself, winning that race. And then you take a look at the 2 races that this horse lost, okay? Lost to Apex, was a solid contender, you know, in this division. And then in the Wellwood, lost to Ardon, who was a solid horse as well. There's no Apexes or Ardons in these spots.
So keeping good, strong condition, has been trotting against some of the best and some of the better ones in the division. Gabe and Jess, is it as simple as Magic Punk, or do we get a price here in tonight's 8th?
Well, I don't know. I think Gabe likes a price in here, but Magic Punk, deservingly so, Gabe. He has been facing company at the likes of Apex and Ardon, like they had mentioned, and comes off of a really nice win here in that last division of the kindergarten.
Yeah, the key thing was, you know, the margin a little deceptive, Jess, because as we just saw back at that replay rollback, Magic Punk was completely geared down at the late stretch there by Jonathan Ali. Having said that, this is a deeper group. Magic Punk, a son of Wishing Stone. He was bred over in Sweden. Wishing Stone, of course, raced in the U.S., his father. He was just a little guy. It doesn't seem like Magic Punk is an overly big horse, but big motor on him. 407 so far to begin his career. He's made over a couple $100,000, and he is your odds-on favorite right now.
Yeah, and Jonathan Ali retains the drive, of course, after picking it up last week. You like a horse in here by the name of Lindy Living for Domenico Cecere. Back-to-back second-place finishes, and also Ultimate Betrayal. That horse is coming out of the same race as Practical Man and AI.
Yeah, Ultimate Betrayal. I think it's a horse that is just peaking at the right time, Jess. Just his 5th career start, and we're going to take a look at his kindergarten here from October the 24th as well. This last weekend, you're going to see Nico Carta, his 30-year-old pilot, start to flip 3 wide here. Nico, also a co-owner of Ultimate Betrayal. He's from Eastern Finland. He works for trader Noel Daley. They say at the Noel Daley barn, it's like a little bit of the United Nations. They've got some Finnish from down under, some Irish folks. So Nico is going to roll past here again as a co-owner. And I thought he went awfully easy, Jess. This is a horse that is completely geared down here. Nico just keeping his mind on the task, but I thought that could not have possibly been easier. You know, is he the one flying under the radar here at a big, big price? It's moving in the right direction. I say yes. I cannot believe the price right now, 18 to 1. Though obviously, when you get a short price favorite like this, it's going to inflate the odds of the other horses. But I did not even think we may get that 6 to 1 in the morning line. Right now, shockingly, we're getting triple that price.
You also heard Noel Daley allude to this earlier. Nico is part owner on this guy as well. And I think that works an advantage to a horse like Ultimate Betrayal. Maybe not have been the easiest of horses to work with, but Nico's stuck with them, obviously, in the morning and under the lights. And I think that works to his advantage.
Yeah, and I think, when you're working, for a trader, obviously with the credentials of trader Noel Daley, you're going to learn a lot. But anytime you get a little ownership stake, Jess, and you've got a horse that, has got a bright future. I mean, they're racing for $125,000 here tonight. I'm sure you're focused on the entire barn, but one of your primary focuses, of course, is going to be on the one he shares ownership here, Ultimate Betrayal. But I just think it's a nice, steady progression we've seen from this guy. Again, his 5th career start. I like the fact he's lightly raced when some of the others here have, had many dances and they're, a little more battle tested. But this like the year, that could be working against him.
And they obviously thought enough of him after that 2nd place finish in his debut to put him right in the bluegrass in the International Stallion.
Yeah, they did. And unfortunately, things just didn't work out there. He made a break in stride, and then you see he just raced conservatively after that. Because a lot of times, too, it's all about the education. As important as it is for these horses in their careers, they really need to learn the game. So whether that's, making sure they stay on stride and trot their mile, whether that's taking back and, educating a horse how to race from off the pace. So all of those things very important. You're putting a foundation into a horse, and us as handicappers, we have to, try and decide if they're when they are ready to peak and really explode with their best performance. I still think it could be Ultimate Betrayal that's, ready to take that step forward here tonight. But it's a good group here. Several bring in, pretty good resumes.
He's making his 5th start of the year. What about AI? He's making his 13th start of the year. He's got 5 wins from those 12 starts. He made a break behind the gate in that big money final up at Vernon Downs. He did all the heavy lifting last time out before getting gunned down by Ultimate Betrayal. But earlier on in the season, when I had a chance to catch up with Yannick, he kind of thought AI would appreciate a bigger track. And I thought he raced well, of course, in that Big Apple elimination.
Yeah, he raced well. You're taking a look at him on the track there, and believe me, who am I to go against anything that Ron Burke, the sport's all-time leading trader, is doing. He's got his main man, Yannick Gingras, on the bike. But, 13 start tonight. This is a horse that's, got a lot of battles. And not only that, Jess, he started very early on the season. But he was a horse that started in June. So, he's been at the races here a long time. I just think a little bit of that is catching up to him. He did race well there in a 3rd-place effort last out. He's made a nice chunk of change for his connections, right at $340,000. But, again, I just question another start to tack on here tonight. Is he getting maybe a little bit tired late in the season?
I will say one of those efforts that sticks out to me, we were in Batavia for that New York Sire Stakes final. He was full of trot there near the wire. He's going to have to overcome an outside post here with a couple of sharp horses to his inside. Like you'd mentioned, he's making his 13th start on the season. And Mr. Penner is another Aki Svanstedt trainee. Sarah alluded to earlier. She's excited to see him tonight as well. He was 3rd in the bluegrass behind Mr. Big Spender, who was 3rd in that Breeders' Crown final.
Yeah, his father, Captain Corey August Svanstedt, trained as well. Of course, a Hamiltonian champion. This guy's got big league talent, Jess, but you talk about a horse that's just trying to figure things out. He has made breaks in stride in 3 of his last 4 starts. Now, talent has never been the issue. I did see the connections tonight were changing the driving bits. So maybe they're changing a different bit in his mouth to try and make him a little more comfortable. Perhaps he was getting uncomfortable there. That was causing him to lose his stride. Maybe that equipment change could put him back on the right track tonight. Again, Team Svanstedt, we know, lethal in some of these stakes events. He looms up there. I think it's a live long shot at 9-1.
And then, of course, the points leader. That's a 2 practical man for Jim Campbell. Todd McCarthy was 2nd in that bluegrass behind Requiem, who actually set a world record for trotting geldings down in Lexington as well. You're getting 9-1 on him. He is the points leader for this division. 3-5 on the 6. That's Magic Punk. Jonathan Ali and Aki Svanstedt double up. We'll find out. Here's Ken with the call.
6 Magic Punk at 3-5 is your favorite. At 5-1, the 9, Highball Hanover. 6-1, 3, Mr. Penner. 2-year-old trotters are set for a Kindergarten Series final. Start of the Pick 6. Race 8, here they come. And they're off and trotting. Lindy Living and Magic Punk leaving out together from the inside. Practical Man is off stride. Twin Bee 7 Sins scoots through on the inside. From the outside comes Highball Hanover. 4 wide in 4th. Mr. Penner in between horses. And Mr. Penner's going to settle in 5th position in front of Ultimate Betrayal. And then came AI to the outside, followed by Whose Eyes Blues. At the rear of the field, we find Southwind Alamo and that early breaker, Practical Man, 27-3 off the turn across the backstretch. Magic Punk, 3-5 favorite, sets up shop for Jonathan Ali and paves the way. And it's going to be Lindy Living in for the 2-hole ride with Dexter Dunn. Twinbee 7 Sins is trotting in 3rd. Highball Hanover is 4th. Mr. Penner tightens in from 5th. Gap at 2.5 lengths to Ultimate Betrayal. Then comes AI and Whose Eyes Blues. And then it's Southwind Alamo. And the distant trailer is Practical Man. Half rated 56-3, 29 seconds. It's Magic Punk in front looking to win again. Magic Punk on a comfortable, uncontested lead. Lindy Living second. Here comes Highball Hanover in attack mode for Andrew McCarthy. Trying to catch up to him is Mr. Penner, second over 4th, and he's still gaining. Twinbee 7 Sins is shuffled back 5th on the inside. No racing room for AI, who's stride for stride with Ultimate Betrayal, who needs to do more. Highball Hanover and Magic Punk squaring off. Lindy Living is right there along with Mr. Penner. 125-1. They trot for home. Magic Punk under intense pressure. Highball Hanover on the outside, and they slug it out. Twinbee 7 Sins trying to squeeze on through with late trot. Lindy Living on the outside in with a shot. Twinbee 7 Sins, Twinbee 7 Sins, and Scott Zeron 85-1. Then AI, and then it was Magic Punk and close Highball Hanover or Whose Eyes Blues 153-3.
They call him the money man, and when you're 85-1, you get the job done. Twinbee 7 Sins.
I mean, just fell into the right trip in this spot. You know, you think about Magic Punk going to the top, got a breather in that second set, but then Highball Hanover came calling and put the pressure on him. But boy, that inside was just wide open for a horse who was tough to make. I mean, the last 2 wins for this horse were in Excelsior, prep, and then also in a Big Apple race too. So hats off if you had this horse at 85-1. I know I couldn't make this horse in this spot.
Wow. Twinbee 7 Sins, 2-year-old by Chapter 7, Scott Zeron. Noel Daley gets the victory there at 85-1. Huge payouts, huge prices coming. AI coming up there for second.
Yeah, and the race fell apart, obviously, late, and AI got up for second, coming wide down the stretch with good late trot. But you don't call him the money man for nothing, and nice little pickup drive here. I'm sure Noel Daley was probably surprised by this, too.
Yeah, Magic Punk, the favorite, seemed to be comfortable enough, and then here came the 9 Highball Hanover, but it was the number 1 in Twinbee 7 Sins to get the victory. Gabe Pruitt, where did this victory come from? Huge payouts coming.
Oh, my goodness, a good trip here as he just got to save ground, guys. This is going to be the second longest shot on the board. Scott Zeron, we saw him pull off a 62-1 upset at one of the Breeders' Crown races last Saturday night up at Woodbine Mohawk Park. He's back with another upsetter here. The crazy thing is, trainer Noel Daley, if you go back to that paddock interview, he said this horse is a lot better than he looks. He almost gave us the beware. A big effort coming tonight. Guys, I just wish I was listening. 85-1, a monster upset here in the 8th.
Huge payout coming here with a massive, massive price, 85-1. On a day like this, this is just, sometimes you see prices like this.
Gabe shouldn't feel bad. I didn't bet him either. But, yeah, this was a solid effort for this horse.
There's Jessica Otten with winning driver Scott Zeron.
Thanks, guys. Winning driver Scott Zeron, Twinbee 7 Sins. A nice pickup drive here, Scotty.
It certainly was, yeah. It came as advertised, though. Noel told me, don't sleep on this one. He's actually all right.
That's what he told us, too. Talk about the trip. You get away third, protect position a little bit there. Then you never left the rail. It seems to be your winning move here lately.
Yeah, it was okay. You know, I didn't know anything about him. Tyler Buter told me about him. He drove most of the year, and he had said the same thing. He was a good horse. So I got him away close enough that he'd have a fair chance down the lane, and the fact that it opened up was just great.
Yep.
Thank you.
There you have it. Scott Zeron, Twinbee 7 Sins. They're going to upset here in the 2-year-old Colton Gelding Kindergarten Classic final. Back to you guys.
Scott Zeron makes a great point there, too. You need that hole to open up. He was saving ground all the way around there and just kind of staying on the inside. You do need that hole to open up. He got lucky and moved on through.
Yeah, listen, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, because if you don't make that move and it doesn't open up, of course, you're going to be blamed for not having a good drive.
Hopefully folks out there were listening when trainer Noel Daley said, don't sleep on this one, because the number 1, Twinbee 7 Sins, gets the job done, takes down this kindergarten series 2-year-old colts and geldings, $125,000 purse. The Money Man. Oh boy, he earned it and he deserves it tonight there, 85 to 1. We're going to have plenty more on the other side of America's Day at the Races. And into the winner's circle there is Twin B 7 Sins, of course, with that long shot victory, 85 to 1 here on America's Day at the Races. It's the kindergarten series at the Meadowlands. We've watched some tremendous pacing and trotting action so far, but nothing like we've seen just now with Scott Zeron, the money man for trainer Noel Daley, getting the victory here at a huge number, 85 to 1. So tremendous payouts coming. And talk about the trip, Paul, as it kind of fell apart there in the late stages.
Never moved off the pylons where Scotty Z put him. And when the real trotting began in the stretch and the race started to come apart a little bit, just had that perfect trip up the inside. I mean, look right there. Boom. Gets the dive right inside as a tiring Magic Punk drifts out a little bit there and just trotted onto the wire strong. AI launched from way back. You see the 7 on the far outside getting up for second, but no doubt about the winner. 85 to 1, you can say no doubt. You don't say that often.
Tremendous victory there, a $700 exacta, trifecta, almost $4,000. Magic Punk did a nice job there to hang on for third after driving that tough mile, but wow, 87 to 1 actually going on.
I don't know how tough of a mile, though, it was for Magic Punk because he got a 29 breather in that second half. I think it was, you know, when Heibel Hanover came calling and then they threw down a little bit heading to the top of the stretch. It just wasn't Magic Punk's night tonight.
All right, you did see the number one, the money man. messing up some of those Pick 4 tickets out there, but I don't think you're alone because that was just a tremendous win and a huge number. Second longest shot on the board. We got another 2-year-old Colton Gelding pace coming up. We got a field of 8 coming up this time, and of course $125,000 is the purse. It's going to be race number 9, and that'll be next up here for us on FS2. Where'd you go, or kind of who you looking at early on here, Paul?
Oh, it's all about Noel Daley in this race for me, so we'll see if he can go back-to-back with the 2 single color. He's also got the 5 Toast of the Town in here.
Jason Bartlett, he's had a tremendous year. He's going to be on the number 6 in Rock Nation, so that's going to be an interesting horse coming up, but we're going to talk about that driver. Jason Bartlett, he's had a tremendous year. Plenty more about this guy, a New York guy, here on America's Day at the Races.
Whether you maintain a food plot on the weekends, tend to a small herd of livestock, or work in professional landscaping, New Holland's family of Workmaster and Boomer compact tractors at Clinton Tractor can get the job done. Known for delivering outstanding value for their performance, these reliable, powerful, and easy to operate New Holland compact tractors will help you tackle your to-do list while being easy on your wallet.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race from every track on every screen every day. Monthly packages starting as low as $5 per month. RTN gives you great value and access to more HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races and taking a look at a 2-year-old Gelding, Colton Gelding trot. Of course, taking a look at the 2 in Spencer Hanover.
Perfect trip for Spencer Hanover in this spot to get the job done. Was sitting second over. Just got away from them in the stretch eventually. But Jason Bartlett, you know, big time driver now. He's now getting those Grand Circuit races, those big race drives, and he's parlayed it into what has been a career season for him.
Yeah, looking at this Breeders' Crown victory, you do see him on the far outside there and really just kind of eating up the ground there, coming towards from far out of it. We saw a lot of this kind of scramble onto the finish, some real tight finishes on that night, but Spencer Hanover, Jason Bartlett, they were tremendous in pairing up together. So Jason Bartlett, he's been the man. He's a New York kind of guy. You've talked about him plenty. We've got Jessica Otten with plenty more with that man, Jason Bartlett.
Thanks, guys. I have Jason Bartlett, fresh off of 2 Breeders' Crown wins last week. And first, Jason, before we get to that, the last 5 years, your numbers have continued to steadily grow. This year so far is a career high. Wins, money, the UDRS. Just put into perspective what it's been like this year.
A lot of travel, but you know, working a little harder and you know, driving the better horses, and so when people ask you to go, you can't really refuse.
That was my next question. Mainly a New York guy, and that's a good circuit as well. You dominate there each and every year on their Sire Stake program, overnight program, but you've traveled this year. Indiana, Ohio, down to Lexington, up to Canada, but you've got to file a lot of nice horses.
Yeah, I think New York, a lot of the nice horses that I've been driving was going to the big races, so it was kind of easy to follow them being in New York. And New York is such a great program, so the better the horses and making more money, and then putting them on the Grand Circuit, they're doing a really nice job. So I would say that's probably been the best thing was to have them in New York than going with them when they travel.
Let's talk about those 2 Breeders' Crown wins, of course, with Spencer Hanover, then with French Wine. Spencer Hanover just got there at the wire, as well as French Wine, but let's go back to those 2 races. What were you feeling with that first Breeders' Crown win?
I was very excited after the elimination how well he did it and how easy he did it, and just hoping for the same trip, and the way the draw came out. I was in a perfect spot, if Dexter doesn't move. So the horse is really good, and he's peaking at the right time. So I would imagine that the Valley Victory is next for him.
And French Wine, I talked to Nancy after the race as well. She said you've been wanting to let him go late in the mile, but you just haven't quite been able to, but he was able to do that last weekend for you. Yeah,
every week that we've raced him, I've been able to let him go a little bit further, and finally, after Nancy, after the 3rd week, she's like, hopefully we can let him go in the Breeders' Crown. I'm like, I hope you're right. And we got a great trip out of it, and he did the rest. So very happy with the horse, and he's just such a great horse to drive, pleasure to drive. So, and Nancy's done a great job with him, and very excited for what there is to come.
Long days, long weeks, lots of traveling. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jess. And taking a look at Jason Bartlett, his standings and just his wins this year and his earnings, of course, $677, $14 million in earnings. He's had a tremendous year. You start thinking about that Driver of the Year conversation.
Absolutely. I mean, from an earnings standpoint, he's number 1. From a win standpoint, he's number 2 to a guy in Aaron Merriman who will drive 10 by day and 10 by night. He's traveling all over that circuit out there where he is. So, but this is a big year for a guy like Jason Bartlett, who spent a lot of time just traveling around the New York circuit. So now getting those Grand Circuit opportunities, being able to chase those good horses around and drive them and show what he can do and show why he's done so well in New York for years, it's parlayed into a very big year for him. And I absolutely think that he should be at the tops of lists for Driver of the Year this year.
All right, there's Paul's thoughts on Driver of the Year. He likes Jason Bartlett in this spot. Jess, Gabe, do you agree? He's had a big season.
Oh, I definitely agree with Paul there, Gabe. I alluded to it in the interview. Year after year, Jason's numbers have continued to grow. Money, starts, wins, UDRS, and now he's traveled onto the Grand Circuit scheme of things. He was one of 2 drivers to double up in the Breeders' Crowns, and that was Dexter Dunn, of course, when doing it with them. He's had a tremendous season. I think he deserves Driver of the Year.
I don't think there's any question, Jess. I think I have him at lock status. He's just had quite the year. As you said, leading in money earnings, coupled the Breeders' Crown for the first time in his career. Jason, originally from Maine. He's obviously based in New York, does a great job at the New York circuit. Was a heck of an athlete growing up. He was a basketball player. Once he, retired from the hardwood, he stepped on the racetrack and into the sulky. I believe that's been a great transition, and again, he just keeps getting better and better. His numbers keep getting better and better as well.
Yeah, for sure. Picking up Grand Circuit race win after win is definitely paying off for him. We'll see him a couple of races later on, but for now, here's a post-parade of race number 9.
Off here with the 1. That's Dax Seelster and Tim Tetrick.
Poor Dax, he's lost 5 times to Bojangles. When he hasn't raced against Bojangles, he's been okay. 4 starts, 2 wins, and 2/3.
Andrew McCarthy here, signal caller 3-5.
Yeah, he's still a work in progress for Noel Daley. Interesting drive last week coming from the back of the pack. We'll see if he's out with speed tonight.
Talbot and Reddy.
Yeah, 3rd, 5th beaten 3, and then 9th distance last couple of starts.
Dexter Dunn, the 4.
Yeah, Bookie J's okay. He's already taken down $150,000 New Jersey Classic final and did it in style. So we'll see if he brushes and crushes again.
The 5 is going to be Toast of the Town.
Another Noel Daley horse in here. Came from off the pace last week and just missed to Bookie J.
And there is Jason Bartlett right now, 21-1, Rocknatius.
1 for 8 this year. I think he's going to have to find a little bit more with this horse, do some Jason Bartlett magic to get this horse into the winner's circle tonight.
The 7 here at a big number, Yannick Gingras, 38-1.
Yeah, just 1 for 7 for Nancy Tactor this year. Has kind of been a fringe player against this group.
Yeah, the far outside will be the 8 here, and that's Apocalypse Blue Chip.
Yeah, going out for Joe Bongiorno in this spot was 6th last time out, but that was coming off a qualifier a couple of weeks before, so probably needed the race. Just 1 for 7, though, this year.
All right, that is the field. It's $125,000. It's the kindergarten series. A final here, 2-year-olds Colts and Geldings. Paul Verderosa, where do you land here in today's night?
I'm on the 2. Signal Caller gets back Andrew McCarthy this week, and is in a work in progress for Noel Daley.
All right, you like the number 2 in Signal Caller, who is in the same race as the number 4 in Bookie J, and we're going to take a look at Bookie J here. Dexter Dunn, the driving duties here tonight, and Bookie J, what do you take from this effort?
Oh, I think that this was a solid effort, obviously, for this horse. They were able to get to the front and here, able to establish, able to open up, and able to hold on. For a horse like Toast of the Town, has come from off the pace and from the back of the pack, closing in to a well-rated time here.
Yeah, Bookie J did win this one fairly easily. Signal Caller coming out of that same effort finished well behind Bookie J in that spot, but is going to be a very short price favorite coming into tonight. Seems like a pretty wide open event, but the bettors right now say they like Signal Caller at 4 to 5. Gabe, Jess, plenty more today's night.
Yeah, that's for sure. Noel Daley sends out a couple of nice ones in this field as well, Gabe. Speaking of Signal Caller, he's the only horse to race in all 5 legs of the Kindergarten Classic Series. He is the points leader as well. You're going to go to another Noel Daley trainee. Speaking of Noel Daley, Toast of the Town. Todd McCarthy is going to jump back in the driving seat here once again. Horse was facing some tough company in Pennsylvania in those Sire Stakes action there. Horses like Alpapi and Frantic Hanover. A little bit softer company last couple of starts. You're getting a good price, 5 to 2 right now.
Yeah, not a bad number, and I'm trying to replay that Noel Daley interview back in my head, Jess, now that he gave us the 85 or 87 to 1 technical winner their last race with Twinbee 7 stars. He was very high on both these colts. He said they're 2 very different colts. He said the 5 Toast of the Town, pretty handy. Could almost do with them, what you want. A professional, I guess you could say. One thing he did say about Signal Caller, and he may not be the only one with this opinion, but Noel is obviously had a tremendous career in the sport, and he said this is one of the fastest horses he's ever sat behind. You just don't hear words like that coming out of a trader's mouth that have had the career that Noel has had in the sport. But he said he's just not that smart. So, he's like me, but I'm not fast. That's the problem. Signal Caller up there 4 to 5. I just think that he's going to be put into the race tonight and used a lot earlier. As we took a look back at that replay, he rallied from last out. He will not be last in the early stages tonight. I think they'll take a big shot here with 6 figures on the line.
They raced him really nicely at the end of the mile last time out. He was more than a month away from the races, so you'd have to think he'd need that start last time out. Finished up well behind Bookie J. I would say he's ready to go.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was a true test run to get a nice foundation underneath of him. So, I could see a lot of that action there, but I still would say that colt right there is an overlay. Toast of the Town. I did ultimately give him the time call. He had missed time there, as you said, part of the last start. Good, solid second. He rallied there underneath. Todd McCarthy returns to the bike tonight. Those 2 teamed up for a kindergarten victory just 2 starts back. A good-looking colt here, a son of Sweet Lou, of course, just like Louprint. Obviously, the running for this year's Horse of the Year. I think that, again, good post here, plenty of options. It's a powerful 2-pronged attack here from trader Noel Daley with the 2 and the 5.
Bookie J, post 4, 7 to 2 on him. Dexter Dunn back in the bike, a son of Perfect Sting. Hasn't had to leave the state of New Jersey. Gabe, 3 wins from 10 starts, and I thought that was a fairly, under wrap win last time out.
It was. He's not going to get away that easy
No.
at the front here tonight with the big money on the line. I think that's the key difference. But it was an easy win. He didn't do anything wrong. When do you ever say that you could get overlay status, Jess, on driver Dexter Dunn and trader Chris Ryder? We've seen those 2 team up for so many big wins over the last several years. Of course, last year's Horse of the Year, Twinbee Joe Fresh. 7 to 2 off a 2 to 1 morning line. I deem that a little bit cold at the board right now. I still think he may take a little late support here as fans react to that 7 to 2 price. But this is a horse that's been on the board 8 of 10 so far in his career. He has not done much at all wrong. He's got a good post here. He's got early speed. I think he'll be one to step off the wings as well. I really think the 3 horses that are taking the money here, that big numbers 2, 4, and 5, will get off the gate here, and likely these 3 are going to be the 3 that lay 1, 2, 3.
Let's talk about that favorite, 6 to 5 on Signal Caller. An upset win in the Bluegrass from post 7 after leaving fairly aggressively off of the gate. Upset Louprint that afternoon. I don't know what went amiss in the International Stallion. Gave him a couple of weeks off. I opted to bring him up to the kindergarten and grab some points in there. 26-3, beaten favorite. Gabe, I would imagine that he was going to need a start after such a poor performance that second start in Lexington.
Yeah, we're taking a look at him there right now. You just go back to Noel saying he's so talented but not smart, Jess. Could be the case. I mean, he did win there, as you said, 3 starts back so convincingly. 2 starts back, he made the lead at the 3/4 pole. It looked like he was just well on his way to another good finish. You know what he decided to do? He clocked out and called it an afternoon. He was on top with a 1/4 mile to go. He finished 9th. He was beaten 44 lengths. I'm not sure he realized his job continued. Maybe once he made the lead, he thought his day was over. He certainly did that afternoon. I know Noel's still tinkering with his equipment, just trying to keep his mind on business. You see him out there. He looks a little bit playful on the track. Big colt here, so the captain, treacherous driver, Andy McCarthy.
He also used a long shot underneath the 3, 20-1 on Talbot and Andretti for Jake Lehman and Vinny Ginsburg. A couple of Grand Circuit efforts down in Lexington. Grabbed some points last time out.
I think the 3 Talbot Andretti is going to be a horse just like we saw the last upset winner. I think he's going to stay to the inside, track, and just hope, beyond hope, that something opens up late. So you're going to have to get a little lucky to see him close. There's no question about it. But 20-1, we've seen stranger things happen about, 25 minutes ago. So we'll see if he can sit, track, and pounce in the late stages. That's exactly what driver Vinny Ginsburg will be looking to do.
I'm going to throw it to a long shot. Dax Seelster, he's 9-1 on the board right now. First crop from Bulldog Hanover. Of course, racing in against the great Bo Jangles. 9-1, Tim Tetrick back in the bike for this one as they head to the gate. The 2-year-old Colton Gelding Kindergarten Classic final. Ken Workington, Hall of Fame announcer, has your call.
5 Toast of the Town at 2-1. For Bookie J at 7-2. On gate, race 9. Here they come. They're off. Apocalypse Blue Chip tried to blast off, and Rock Natius trying to outsprint him. Those two together with Bookie J shooting out there. Signal Caller on the inside, stride for stride with him. And then it's Dax Seelster, 5th on the inside and backs away. And Toast of the Town to the outside. Looks to get going. Then Talbot Andretti at the rear of the field. And the trailer is Louisville. They blaze past that opening quarter. Rock Natius on the engine. It's Rock Natius going after him is Bookie J, 28-1. Rock Natius, Bookie J on the move up on the outside. And they race the back stretch with on the inside Apocalypse Blue Chip after a quick start is revved up in 3rd position. Signal Caller tightens in from 4th. Underway is Toast of the Town on the outside, 5th, and squeezing out in front of him. Signal Caller was flushed out. Then it's Dax Seelster saving ground. Louisville is underway from the back of the pack, and Talbot Andretti is now the trailer. Up front is Bookie J and Dexter Dunn. Bookie J, Signal Caller first over in attack mode. A 57-1, a tepid half mile here. Rock Natius in the pocket spot as they round that far turn. And up second over is Toast of the Town carving out a golden trip. That one tracked on the outside by Louisville. Louisville's 3rd over in stride for stride with a locked-in Apocalypse Blue Chip with a shuffle. Then Dax Seelster from the rear of the field. Talbot Andretti trails. They are heads apart at 3/4. Bookie J, Signal Caller, Toast of the Town right there. Rock Natius in with a shot, but he's under urging now. They're at 3/4 in 1. 24-4 into the stretch drive. Bookie J, Dexter Dunn needs more. It's Bookie J. Signal Caller got the cold shoulder. Here is Toast of the Town on the outside with Dead Ammon lunging late at Bookie J. Bookie J, Toast of the Town coming at him. Bookie J holds off Toast of the Town. Then Apocalypse Blue Chip and Signal Caller in 1:51-2.
Dexter Dunn teaming up with trainer Chris Ryder. They get the job done. Bookie J holds them all off. Well done. Wins the 1 mile pace.
Rushes to the top, but I'll tell you one thing. Toast of the Town did not get parked that entire mile. Toast of the Town was going to win this race. So that was a hell of a race from Toast of the Town because that horse never once saw a pylon, was parked the entire mile. No, he ended up second over behind Signal Caller, who was live until they turned for home, but that was a dynamite effort from your runner-up in that spot.
Oh, big effort there from Toast of the Town there. Bookie J holding off that charge. 4, 5, and 8. Apocalypse Blue Chip ending up rounding out your trifecta there. 4, 5, 8. Some nice efforts all around, but Bookie J does get the money at 4-1. Gabe Pruitt, what did you see? Dexter Dunn gets one done right there.
Yes, he does, and this is why he's so good, guys. But this, he moves to the top. He sensed this pace was very slow I mean, they got the half mile here as Bookie J took over in just 57 1/5 seconds. The back half here, 54-1. So he really stepped on the gas in that back half. That just makes it almost impossible for the horses behind them to catch him. You know, when you're going that fast to the front end. So just a heads-up move from Dexter Dunn. He marched to the top there and stepped to the gas. As Paul said, toast the town, not the easiest of trips. He was up there on the outside the entire way. He did to follow a stablemate at the end of the day, but just ultimately could not outgun Bookie J, who was extremely well rated here on the front end. Hats off to Dexter Dunn. How about this guy? As I talked about that price could drop, it went up. He went off here at 4-1. This is a $10 winner, a rare overlay here in the morning line favorite.
Yeah, thanks, Gabe. And it did go off at 4-1, the price floating up, and they finished this exact same way back on October 24th. It was Bookie J and Toast of the Town. It finished that way again.
Yeah, and listen, he went 54-2 in the back half last week, came home in 54-1 this week. So serious racehorse, but I still think got a little lucky today regardless because of Toast of the Town's trip. But make no mistake about it, second six-figure stake win for this horse. Can't take it away from him.
Fantastic job there. Jessica Otten with the winning driver.
Thanks. Dexter Dunn gets the job done with Bookie J. Dex, talk about this trip, because when I was watching that first quarter, I kind of thought they were flying through it. It was a leisurely 28-1 opening panel.
Yeah, I think the first eight of the quarter was, pretty quick, and then the pace sort of backed off, and, we made our move with this guy, but, we got pretty cheap second quarter as well once we got there, and then come a great back half. But the horse has just been improving all year, Jess, and he's turning into a really nice horse.
Speaking of back half, Andy's colt has been no slouch either in signal caller. This guy just turned the colt shoulder right to him.
Yeah, exactly. Andy, we got a bit of pressure after a slow half there on the turn, but he was travelling really good on the last turn, and, Toddy come at him pretty hard late, but, to the horse's credit, he really he sprinted hard and he dug in deep, which is, always good when in these big races.
You talk about his improvement throughout his 2-year-old season. He hasn't had to leave the state of New Jersey, which I think has benefited him.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot better with a bit of time off too, Jess. He was pretty green there earlier on and didn't really know, he was going more in and out than forward, and but he's really woken up, and I think once he has a bit of a break and fills out, he could be a really nice 3-year-old.
Nice job.
Thank you, Jess.
Bookie J, Dexter Dunn, Chris Ryder team up in the 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Kindergarten Classic Final.
And Bookie J, that 2-year-old gelding by Perfect Sting. And Paul, I think this is where, we hear about drivers jockey that mental clock, right? Because visually watching from my seat, the 6 and the 8, they both went, they both left, and it looked like they were moving, but it turned out they weren't setting too hot a pace up front.
No, but they left with intent, and they kind of set the table for Bookie J to make that brush move to the top. I think Dexter Dunn also realized he did not want to be jammed up inside or behind these horses at some point, so he just went, and it turned out to be the winning move ultimately.
Yeah, very happy connections there in the winner's circle. They take down $125,000, the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings to Bookie J. Come on back. We'll have plenty more with that horse right there. An update on Louprint and Ron Burke. Come on back. You'll want to hear this on America's Day at the Races.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, where we just saw Bookie J holding off all rivals and getting to the winner's circle. Tremendous mile there. 1 mile pace one for the 2-year-old Colts and Geldings. It was Dexter Dunn. It was Chris Ryder teaming up for the 2-year-old Gelding by Perfect Sting.
The old Russian Crush move to the top turned out to be the winning move here by Dexter Dunn. And, you know, gave the cold shoulder to a nice horse in Signal Caller, was able to put him away and then hold off the late pace from the Parked Entire Mile, Toast of the Town, the other Noel Daley horse. And this is this horse's second now 6-figure stakes race win for Bookie J. So over $200,000 in career earnings at this point, and we'll see what we get out of him now as we close out a 2-year-old campaign and head towards 3.
Nice job there. Price did float up, as Gabe Pruitt pointed out. $10 winner now on Bookie J and Dexter Dunn, and a nice return in some of those exotics or trifectas. That pick 3, look at that, massive, over $11,000. Pick 4, tremendous as well. So plenty of payouts here on a great night, and an 87-1 shot will have a lot to do with that when you're taking a look at pick 3s and pick 4s and spice things up. But we've seen a nice night so far. We got the 10th race coming up, of course, and that's going to be a nice event here in the 10th, as we're going to take a look at the field here in just a moment. There it is. And that's going to be back to a 1 mile pace, and some of those veterans that we've talked about and some of those older horses will go. As you take a look, it's pretty wide open when we get these older veteran types in this 1 mile pace.
Yeah, a couple of nice horses in here like Southwind Gentry and El Rey we've seen in Mad Max Hanover, even the horse on the rail, Captain Bazinga, as well. So good when you get this group, and even the 5 horse in here too, who is ran 167 times, and basically almost 100 of them has been in the top 3.
Yeah, and trainer Ron Burke obviously is going to have some live shots in there. He's got some really, really tough ones going in today's 10th race.
Yeah, we'll see what we get from the Ron Burke barn. And like I said, Southwind Gentry is a class horse personified.
Yeah, looking at the 2 and the 6 there for trainer Ron Burke. And I believe we're going to take a look at Jessica Otten. She had an opportunity to catch up with Ron Burke, and she's got an update on a horse that we all know on this circuit.
Thanks, guys. I have Hall of Fame trainer Ron Burke. Now, Ronnie, you've been quoted before as Louprint being one of the best horses ever you've trained. Obviously, he threw in a little bit of a disappointing effort there in the Breeders' Crown Final. What do we know now that we didn't know then?
Yeah, there was an incident earlier in the week where we didn't think he came out of it hurt. And, you know, he trained all right and, like, everything seemed good. And then after the race, I just walked over to pet him because I felt bad for him, like it was such a tough trip. And he didn't seem right and, like, was stressed. So then, you know, I started going over to him, and he was very tender on his ribs area. And I called my main vet and said, can a horse break its ribs? And he's like, yeah, why? And I told him about the horse, you know, getting hurt. And he said, send him to the clinic. We sent him. They sent him to another clinic, and it turns out he has like a fracture and a cartilage dislocation of his ribs, and I feel terrible. Like, I had no idea that it was there, and you know, I think it really was bothering him. You know, I've broken ribs too, so I know what he was going through, and you know, it explains his performance, and that's it for him. He'll, you know, he retired and moving on to the next career.
What is going to be his next career?
He's moving to Ohio and going to be a stallion, so he's going to be, you know, under the care of Diamond Creek and Winterwood Farms, and we'll go from there. But, you know, I'm sure we'll support him. I love him. I think he's the best horse I've trained, you know, so best pacer at least. So, I'm very excited to get him going.
He has taken you on a lot of thrills over the last 2 years. Maybe just expand on that.
Yeah, no, like he's done everything we've asked of him, and it's funny. My son put it best. You know, our other horse hit the wire, and he said, you know, I wanted to be happy. I just was hard. And I go, exactly how I felt. You know, I'm very proud of Sippin' on Sea Rock. He's a great horse too. You know, he's, you know, a nose from being a 2-time Breeders' Crown Championship. You know, Louprint beat him as a 2-year-old. But, you know, it's still like, you know, we're emotionally attached to Louprint, and I felt terrible. And, you know, but the next thing is you move on, next race.
Now, the horse races are done on the track for him, but there's still a race for year-end honors with him. Obviously, Bojangles is an undefeated colt at the age of 2. Maybe make your case for Horse of the Year for Louprint.
I honestly don't care about that. Like, I know to me he did what he did, and the races he went 2 heats at Delaware. And, you know, I guess I will make the case. He, you know, he answered everything. One race, it doesn't end or make his career. So, but by the same thing, I won't knock Bojangles. I was impressed. We threw everything at him we could, and he held him off. So, you know, they're both great horses. You know, whatever it is, it is.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you very much there. Just gotten with trainer Ron Burke, and you can be a Hall of Fame trainer. You can have all those wins and be at the top of the game. And just those little things that just can happen during horse racing and here in pacing and trotting. And just Louprint, all the success on the racetrack, but had the injury, and maybe that answers the questions of what happened to the Breeders' Crown. But just a tremendous career, though, for a really, really great horse.
Yeah, solid horse, solid as they come. And you know, he's now going to get to enjoy the fruits of his labors once he heals up, and I cannot wait to see little Louprints come out in a couple of years. And, you know, Ron, not for anything, I celebrated for you guys with Sipping on Sea Rock. So, you know, definitely a heartbreak for Louprint because we know how much he meant to that barn and how attached they are. But, you know, again, Ron Burke, class operation, and I'm sure he's looking forward to getting some baby Louprints down the line.
His sire certainly got it done. Sweet Lou, Sire of the Year, 2023, 2024. Gabe, Jess, you guys have seen plenty of Louprint and, of course, Sweet Lou's and all the progeny, and so now Louprint goes off to the breeding shed, but wow, what a season. Horse of the Year. Ron Burke just kind of says, who knows what. What do you guys say about Louprint?
Well, I think he's definitely got the case as well. We talked about it earlier, 4 Horse of the Year guys. And Gabe, what a career, not just his 3-year-old season, but a career as well. You know, he won the Breeders' Crown at the age of 2, the North America Cup at the age of 3 with, you know, the Little Brown Jug as well. We talk about Ron Burke and the connections of Louprint, but what about his driver, Ronnie Wren? Just a small guy from Michigan who moved to Ohio about 10, 12 years ago, and he's on the Grand Circuit stage now. He took him on quite a ride as well.
Yeah, he really did, and I think you said one of the key things there that could help him stand out against Bojangles, some of these sports signature races, the North America Cup, the Little Brown Jug that he won. You know, does Bojangles have those type of signature wins to stack up against Louprint? I thought that was a very enlightening interview from the sports all-time leading trainer Ron Burke. He's always, you know, very open. One thing, you know, he mentioned there, he just went over the horse and just thought something wasn't right. That just shows you, you know, his degree of horsemanship. Right. He talks about that he's his best pacer, but he trained Sweet Lou. He trained the richest pacer in the entire sports history, foiled again, who earned just shy of $8 million. So for him to say he's his best pacer, the only thing I don't believe from that interview, Jess, is that he doesn't care if Louprint's Horse of the Year. Believe me, I believe that may have been a fib from trainer Ron Burke. I think that he is clearly hoping that Louprint can go into the stallion ranks coming off a Horse of the Year season.
Yeah, you can just tell the emotion, too, that the horse brings to all of the connections. I was there when he won in 146-3 at Lexington. He covered the ground tremendously, guys, and I think he does deserve Horse of the Year. I think he's got a good case for it as well.
Thanks so much, guys. And yeah, appreciate the transparency and the honesty from trainer Ron Burke as just being very open about what was going on. But Louprint, certainly we wish him the best in recovering and off to the breeding shed. All right, we got race number 10 coming up, and we do have Ron Burke. He's got a couple in here. So he's got some live shots coming up in this 10th race. We got a field of 7. Any early thoughts, Paul Verderosa?
Well, on Southwind Gentry in here, the number 2, flashed that back class last week for sure with that 149 and change mile. We'll see if we can run it back tonight.
That is the 10th. We're going to see some veteran types in today's 10th race. We're going to take a break. We're going to come on back here with plenty more. There it is, that iconic sign, the Meadowlands. Come on back. America's Day at the Races, FS2.
Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program in Oxford, New York was created in 2018 by Wanda Palacini to provide training to transition for finding homes and new careers for horses. Horses are started with groundwork and then ridden in an arena before moving on. Horses at Purple Haze are then evaluated and adopted out based on abilities and temperament. If you have a horse that you care about, or if you are looking for a great pleasure horse, contact Purple Haze Standardbred Adoption Program at 518-669-2715.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing, get expert picks, boost your bankroll with weekly promotions, and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Champions are made on the racetrack, but many of them are born, raised, and developed at farms right here in New Jersey. New Jersey is home to nearly 100,000 acres devoted to the horse industry, and harness racing's breeding and training facilities play a vital role in protecting open space and supporting agriculture throughout the Garden State. With the state's ongoing recognition of the importance and value of the standardbred industry, New Jersey will remain a place where champions are made. To learn more, visit sboanj.com.
Ever dreamed of owning a racehorse? Well, now you can for free. Introducing freeracehorse.com, where you get a real share in a real racehorse at no cost. Be part of the action. Get DIP access to training, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and experience the thrill of the race like never before. Sign up now at freeracehorse.com and claim your free ownership share today. Don't just watch the race. Own it.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, brought to you in part by Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Visit NairaBets.com or download the Naira Bets app to get started. Don't forget about that $200 deposit match bonus. That promo code BONUS200. Chris Griffin, joined by Paul Verderosa here as we continue on this great Saturday night. And it's been a tremendous day of racing and pacing and trotting, and we're still going to get plenty more here as we got race number 10 coming up, Paul. But, you know, Ron Burke, he's done everything. It was really great what he said about Louprint and his career moving on. But race number 10, he's got a couple live shots in here, but you actually are going to maybe go with a little bit of a price.
Yeah, Captain Bazinga on the rail. I mean, why don't I just go with every horse? Because I said 2 minutes ago I was with Southwind Gentry. You know, this is what happens when you get to the witching hour, right? But the Captain Bazinga is actually the horse that I'm going to put on top in here. And I just think last week, you know, totally was parked and got burned up in the pace that was going on there. Draws better, gets the rail tonight, and I think will be better for that and has some rebound potential tonight. May not be as quick or fast a pace as last time.
All right, looking forward to that. We're going to see what happens in race number 10. We're going to have a post parade. But, I mean, you can continue that talk of horse of the year. We're talking about Louprint a little bit in the votes. Where they were standing in the polls, though, you really did believe, too, that Jess Otten was talking about the what have you done for me lately. It does seem like some of the polls and some of the voters are kind of leaning more towards that direction.
It's funny how throughout the season, if you did watch those polls, that sometimes, you know, some of these horses did not run. They didn't lose much ground. The ones who ran, you know, would obviously pick up the votes, but it was kind of a steady, you know, stream of voting for horses that were up top. But as we got closer to the Breeders' Crown and then ran the Breeders' Crown, it's kind of like all hell broke loose, and it's what have you done for me lately in that spot. So I think people are like that. I think, as Gavin just said earlier, when the dust settles and people have a chance to kind of take a breath and see what's going on for the absolute year worth of work, I think horses like Alexis Cody and Louprint come to the top without a doubt.
All right, that conversation will continue. This post parade is going to start right now. Captain Bazinga, Tim Tetrick, 14-1.
I think needed the race last time, got parked and got burned up in the pace. So some rebound potential here from the inside. And I don't think the pace is going to be as hot this time.
All right, there's Captain Bazinga at 14-1. The 2 is going to be 4-1. That's Southwind Gentry.
Solid mile last time. Flashed this class, came home in 27-4, 149 and change. How could you not love a horse that's 61 for 108 in the top 3, right?
Dexter Dunn, Andrew Harris teaming up, El Rey.
Late start this year for El Rey. Racing kind of into form again. You know, comes out of that Breeders' Crown race. I don't know.
Possibly your driver of the year, Jason Bartlett, the Big Boss.
Big Boss got beat pretty soundly last time by the horse on the outside, Mad Max Hanover.
And there's the 5 at 14-1.
42 for 167. That is something, man.
The money man, Scott Zeron here at 5-1, the 6.
Not a bad horse here going out for Ron Burke. Last time out, you know, made a run into the race, ended up getting ultimately beat 2 1/4 lengths. Picks up Scotty Z this time.
Rounding out this post parade, that's the 7, Mad Max Hanover.
Solid win. A couple of starts back from post 10. Was a no-show last week. We'll try to rebound here.
All right, field of 7. Right now, the 3 is going to be even money. That's El Rey, but we're going to talk about the 2, and that's 7-2. Ron Burke trained. Yannick Gingras will drive. We're talking about Southwind Gentry.
Was able to establish the top last week and took some heat, and they were going fast out there, and actually was the horse that burned up Captain Bazinga, who was parked and dropping back in this spot, and still was able to hold on. That was all class for this horse, being able to dig in and pace to the wire as he did and come home in 149 and 4. That was a solid mile for this horse, and we'll see if we can run it back here. I wonder if Southwind Gentry's just going to go tonight, or let Captain Bazinga go and sit behind him and kind of take over on the backside. We'll see if anybody else goes in this spot. I don't know if anybody else is really going to want to pressure them early.
Do you think if you replicate that effort, though, from that replay, looking back to last week, is that a winning race here tonight?
He can run it back in this spot for sure, yeah.
All right. Race number 10 is coming up. Jess, Gabe, give us a winner. Plenty more.
Ooh, I hope we can give you a winner. But going back to Southwind Gentry, Gabe, they paid $30,000 for this guy as a yearling, $1.3 million in the bank. Such a classy fella. 34 lifetime wins. He's one of 2 horses that is moving his way up in class, but very impressive last week. 26 and 4 out, 27 and 4 in. He loves the Big M, and I can guarantee you one driver that gets along with him the best, it's Yannick.
You know, all that's true, Jess. Having said that, I still think that reputation you just alluded to drives too much action to him. I think it turns the wager break. He's now 7. As you said, over $1.3 million, but just $100,000 of that have come the last 2 years. So he's not quite the same stakes performer that we saw as a younger horse. He still gets a little overbet. This is the toughest spot he's seen in 2 months. The last time he was in any similar type field, he went off 16 to 1, and he was a 6th place finisher. So he could win, but for my buddy, I still think a little bit overbet. Southwind Gentry, still a very productive racehorse, but just not quite the same speed and tenacity we saw from him as a youngster.
What about El Rey? That's the favorite. That's a horse on your screen. He's 6-5 right now, coming from that Andrew Harris barn. He's had a successful career. 11 wins from 59 starts. He's just a 5-year-old, closing in on $1 million lifetime. But he's only got 3 starts this year. I don't know what went amiss. He had a couple of overnight events, one at Harris, Philadelphia, one at the Pocono, and then they put him right into the deep end, into the Breeders' Crown elimination up there. He obviously didn't make the final, so they're going to drop him back into an overnight event here, Gabe. His back class could beat this field. I just don't know what kind of El Rey was going to show up tonight.
Yeah, I think similar to Southwind Gentry, although he is a bit younger, he did have a productive career, and he's obviously just getting going here at the age of 5, Jess, but over $830,000 in his 2-, 3-, and 4-year-old campaigns. So he's a horse that's known how to make some money. I think all or nothing, and I did side with Ald. I knew we were going to have to take a little bit of a short price here. If we get his best punch, I think he delivers a decisive knockout punch to this group, and he's 6-5 up there right now. If we get him a little lackluster, I don't think he even has to hit the board. So, it's just which El Rey shows up. One vote of confidence I thought I did see there from the connections. They opted just his 3rd start here at the age of 5. He missed a ton of time since last December to sit and brought it up to the Breeders' Crown elimination. I mean, that's like throwing a horse in the deep end very, very early on after getting started. Though he had come off a good 2nd place finish prior to that. But trainer Andrew Harris does an excellent job. If he had the confidence to send this guy up for Breeders' Crown elimination, that tells me he thinks the real El Rey is coming back. That's what pushed me to El Rey in this spot. Again, I'll tee him right up on top here at 6-5. But again, I will proceed with caution here. I think, if he's still not quite himself, this is a favorite that could be all the way off the board, and that's why I deem him an all-or-nothing proposition. You see him on the track right there for driver Dexter Dunn.
Yeah, I echo those thoughts. I put him on top as well. If he's the old El Rey, plenty capable of beating. Let's talk about the 6, Born in Lockdown GB. Now, Ron Burke, well, let me just start off. A lot of trainers have success importing horses, but Ron Burke in particular has really, had some nice success with those Great Britain horses. First start over the Big M last time out at this level, I thought was a good 5th place finish. Usually horses need an acclimating mile over the Big M, especially those imports coming over overseas and then racing over at Poconos. Different surface, different size track. He's 10 of 23 this season.
Yeah, all 10 of those wins have come just since arriving stateside. As you said, a rare Great Britain imported horse. We see horses imported, from down under, New Zealand, Australia, on the pacing side quite often. Trotters we see, mainly from Europe. We don't see many pacers from Great Britain, but here we go. This guy started his U.S. campaign this year. He ripped off 5 consecutive wins. So he was 5 for 5. He worked himself up in class a bit, but still a very good resume, 10 of 23. He's, worked up to face this type of company. I think the public has him pegged about right, 6-1. I give him a puncher's chance. He's a horse that has enjoyed his first U.S. season.
What about Mad Max Hanover? He's taking money. He's 4-1. A winner at this level, 2 back from post 10, parked past the half at odds of 19-1. Took money last week from post 8. I don't know. I think these guys' best foot forward is when he does his best work. But when you take him off the gate, it just doesn't seem like he likes to get involved.
I agree totally. You know, last week was a perfect example of that. He just seemed to mail it in. I guess let's say that was a race where he just could not get out of the gate. He ended up having to drop back last. There was a lot of early speed inside of him. Prior start, he was roughed up a bit, but he did make the lead. And he's a bit of a street fighter, the 7 Mad Max Hanover. If you get him on the lead, you get in a street fight late, you know, you better pack a lunch. He is a very tough veteran, but I'm like you, forwardly placed typically where you're going to get his very best.
I think it's all or nothing on the 3. El Rey, he's your favorite right now, 6-5 on the board. If you're going to be on board with them, you're getting a short price, but you know, he could be beatable if the old El Rey doesn't show up. El Rey, 6-5 right now for driver Dexter Dunn, Andrew Harris. This does kick off the late pick 4 as well, so get involved. We'll send it up to Ken Workington for the call of the 10th.
Time and final call for the late pick 4. Preferred equine starting gate into position. The wings are opening for the field of 7 here in race 10. Last chance, late pick 4. Even money favorite 3, El Rey. El Rey at even money 5-2. 2 Southwind Gendry looks to win again. 9-2 on the 7 Mad Max Hanover. 6-1 the 6 Born in Lockdown. On gate and ready for start. Race 10 starts the late pick 4. Here they come. They're off. Mad Max Hanover on the outside, flashing early speed. Southwind Gendry shoots out under urging with El Rey, and Captain Bazinga on the inside leaves alertly. Into the first turn, Jingra and Southwind Gendry repeat-minded and right to the choo-choo here. Captain Bazinga skims the rail into second. Mad Max Hanover is third. So El Rey outsprinted 4th to the opening quarter. Then it's the Big Boss, followed by Born in Lockdown. Gapped at the back, Da Delightful. First quarter up in a crisp 27-1. So it's Southwind Gendry to pave the way here. 3-1 on the board. Southwind Gendry leads the way with Captain Bazinga to pocket up behind him. Mad Max Hanover an anxious third. Hard to wrangle in. Edges to the outside. El Rey to follow him from 4th. And then it's the Big Boss, followed by Born in Lockdown. Da Delightful continues to trail. At the half, Southwind Gendry will have company. Mad Max Hanover on the outside applies pressure. 55-4, 28-3. Second quarter, Captain Bazinga off those dueling leaders in third. El Rey launches to the outside into second over for Dexter Dunn. Gap of 4 lengths, and the Big Boss is dropping back up and around him. Born in Lockdown and Da Delightful, the trailer. At 3/4, they slug it out. Southwind Gendry, Mad Max Hanover right there. Captain Bazinga and El Rey is lurking and now coming 3 deep. And Born in Lockdown is ranging up on the outside. 5th, looking for room, is the Big Boss. 1:23-3. They're in the stretch drive. Coming after Southwind Gendry. Captain Bazinga with room to come on through. Mad Max Hanover giving his all first over. Then El Rey, and on the far outside, Born in Lockdown. Almost home, Southwind Gendry digging in and flaunting his class. Southwind Gendry wins again. Then it's Captain Bazinga and close. Born in Lockdown or Mad Max Hanover. 150-4.
Yannick Gingras teaming up with Ron Burke. Southwind Gendry holds them all off there in the lane.
That was all class. I loved them both. They ran 2-1. Loved them both. Waited for the rail to open up for Captain Bazinga. He did pace on through. He just could never get past Southwind Gendry, who was all heart tonight, you know, on the front end there, because he threw down with Mad Max Hanover. Was able to turn him away for a bit, but yeah, all credit to the winner right there for Ron Burke. That was a nice follow-up mile from last week for sure, and a nice effort out of my top pick, Captain Bazinga, on the rail at 22-1.
Yeah, nice selection there to close out your exact 7-year-old gelding, well over $1 million in earnings. Jess, Gabe, plenty more. Southwind Gendry holds them all off.
Yeah, he sure does, as Ken Workington said, flaunting his class, Gabe. And he was pressured there throughout by Mad Max Hanover. I thought he raced well, coming first over and against him. And Captain Bazinga, Paul's top pick, I thought he raced good too.
Yeah, this is a gutsy performance on the front here, but the 2 Southwind Gendry. We talk about, you know, maybe not the type of stakes campaigner he once was, Jess, but you put him at a stretch battle. He knows how to get across the goal line. He does it here again tonight, 2 in a row. for Southwind Gendry. He's just the type of horse with all that backlash, as we said, well over 1.3 million. You know, he can beat a field like this off memory when he comes to pace, and that's exactly what happened here tonight. Southwind Gendry, ultra impressive. We cannot say the same for the 3 El Rey. He was teed up perfectly there, second over, following some live cover to the outside. He tipped 3 deep, and quite honestly, just not the El Rey we've seen in the past.
No.
The favorite faltered late.
No, maybe just a little bit flat. So not the El Rey that we've known in the past. I'm sure Andrew will figure all that out. Interesting to see maybe what kind of trail he'll take with him going forward. Is he going to maybe let him go and bring him back for some stakes efforts next year, or continue to race him until he figures him out?
Well, the thing is, you'd like to see a nice progression when a horse starts back off a lengthy layoff, as the favorite El Rey had done. But back to the drawing board. Andrew Harris runs a sharp outfit. I'm sure they'll be making some adjustments and moving forward to figure out how to get him back on the right track.
Career win number 35 for Southwind Gendry. A classy veteran he is, guys.
Classy veteran indeed. Thank you very much, Jessica Otten. But you take a look at the number 2 in that performance, Yannick Gingras, Ron Burke. They teamed up. You just missed it. Hey, we got a quick break, and we're going to take a look at a nice exacta. Captain Bazinga almost got there, but that tough veteran held him off. Plenty more. And we still got another kindergarten series to talk about on the other side of America's Day at the Races.
Whether you maintain a food plot on the weekends, tend to a small herd of livestock, or work in professional landscaping, New Holland's family of Workmaster and Boomer compact tractors at Clinton Tractor can get the job done. Known for delivering outstanding value for their performance, these reliable, powerful, and easy to operate New Holland compact tractors will help you tackle your to-do list while being easy on your wallet.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Back here on America's Day at the Races, Southwind Gendry. Nice victory, well over $1 million in earnings, and you do like these tough veteran campaigners and getting the job done there with Yannick Gingras.
All about heart and all about fight and all about age and having been there, done that for Southwind Gendry for sure. And right here, you know, I thought that he was going to be a little bit short with Yannick going to work on him there after, you know, dueling it out with Mad Max Hanover. Rail opened up for Captain Bazinga, just could never get through. And you know why he couldn't get through? Because Southwind Gendry wouldn't let him pass him. You know, he just paced hard to the wire and got the job done in here for career win number 35.
Yeah, you see trainer Ron Burke picking up another victory, and he does it here tonight. Yannick Gingras, they team up. 7-year-old gelding by Always Be Mickey, and you just see a nice performance. 8 wins, now 9 wins on the career, or on the year, I should say, in 2025. So just these These tough, hard-knocking veterans, you got to love them every time you see them go to the track. Nice exacta, nice trifecta on the return. We've seen some nice payouts. It hasn't been overwhelming favorites, of course, and we're going to take a look at the 11th race coming up. It's a 2-year-old filly pace. It's part of that kindergarten series. Nice field signed on here, a field of 10, and right now it seems like money's going towards the middle there. 5 Darlin's Angel on air is there at 5-1, and also the 6 is at 9-2. So we've got plenty coming up in race 11.
I like Darlin's Angel in here. We'll talk about her more in a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about plenty more here coming up in the 11th race, but there was some thoroughbred racing action happening in California on the West Coast and down there in San Diego at Del Mar, and of course the Breeders' Cup. There was some really nice racing that went on, and of course the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yeah, big race. Big field, and I know it kind of, for some, lost a little bit of its allure with Sovereignty having to unfortunately come out, but this turned out to be one heck of a race.
Yeah, it seemed like speed was pretty good on the day. Forever Young was pretty forwardly placed. You didn't see him come from far out of it, but you saw a lot of those main contenders, journalism in there. You see Sierra Leone running after him. Forever Young just finding enough.
Listen, this was a great race. In all honesty, the best 3 horses ran 1, 2, 3, with Forever Young running the best race out of those 3 horses in winning. They're all very good horses. They all ran their race. That's what you like to see. And all that nonsense talk about the rabbit being in there and how the race was just going to be completely blown up. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
Forever Young does win the Breeders' Cup Classic. You saw all of your winners on the day. You see Splendora, She's So Spicy, Ben Tornado, Scylla, and you can go on and on and on. And Nisos, that dirt mile, if you want to talk about pace, 21, 44, they were moving around there in the dirt mile. So those were the winners. Hopefully you had a winner, Paul, or 2, or hopefully the people at home had a winner as well. That was the Breeders' Cup and a roundup of those results as we saw some of those New York connections have a nice weekend as well. We got a quick break, and we're going to come back with the 11th and get back to our standard bred action at the Meadowlands. Plenty more with that kindergarten series, the 2-year-old fillies in that 1 mile pace. It's up next, the finale.
Preferred Equine Online has proven time and time again to be the industry's online provider, selling the highest priced horses in all categories online, including racehorses, broodmares, yearlings, weanlings, and stallion shares. Full service, trusted and transparent. Contact Preferred for your online sales needs at www.preferredequineonline.com.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race from every track on every screen every day. Monthly packages starting as low as $5 per month. RTN gives you great value and access to more HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit rtn.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire.
Keeneland November is where futures take root and legacies pass from one hand to the next. In the ring, excitement builds. A glance, a nod, a bid. History changes in an instant, and the impact lasts a lifetime. The market is here. The global stage is here. Your moment is here. Keeneland November.
Why wait for fortune to be revealed when you can make your own move? Because no one ever talks about the time they played it safe. So go ahead, press your luck, tempt fate, and claim your destiny. Because once in a lifetime can happen every night. Welcome to a world that revolves around you. Your rules, your world. Resorts World.
One more to go for us here on FS2, America's Day at the Races. It's race number 11 is coming up, this 1 mile pace for the 2-year-old fillies. We've seen a fantastic evening so far. We've seen plenty of prices, and now we got a field of 10 for $125,000.
Yeah, and favoritism falling right there. Number 5, Darlin's Angel.
Yeah, Lauren Tritton will have the driving duties on air. Andrew McCarthy right next door is also taking some money. So you're seeing it pretty wide open, but you are seeing the better starting to hone in here on the number 5 in Darlin's Angel as your favorite. Will she be able to get the job done? in this spot, but let's take a look at her prior efforts and see how she sets up coming into tonight.
You know what's cool about her, for a filly that had a late start to her career season-wise, she just has this demeanor about her. Like, when you watch her pace and you watch her in races, she's like an old pro, and she's been improving start to start, and she's smart. She tells you where you should be with her. You know, it's not you forcing her placement-wise, and she's taking her cues nicely from Lauren Tritton, and she just gets the job done. She's made it 4 in a row now. It's been the easiest of fashions, and to me, they've got to play catch-up to beat her. So the question is, will it finally happen tonight? Because right now, I think she's tops in this series. So they're going to have to play a little bit of catch-up, but that's why they run the races.
Yeah, Lauren Tritton, she's had a really, really sparkling season
Yes.
with Darlin's Angel. They've done really nice work together, so we'll see if that does continue. And she does seem to be a standout in here, 8-5. A little high, you think, based off of some of those prior efforts?
Well, they can, you know, well, the money's not in yet, and people do like seeing the 4 wins that she has now and is rolling. So you're looking at a horse that's been on the improve. I don't know if she'll be shorter. You know, as we get closer to post time, I think she's probably going to be in that 7-5, 8-5 range, but we'll see what happens when all the money comes in.
Yeah, we do have some other horses that do have a little bit of class as they have coming into this race, and we're also going to take a look at some of the other rivals in this race, and one of those is going to be Wave Dancer, who's going to be the number 9 in here. Fabulous Hanover also in this race in 3. You take a look at this last effort. What'd you take from here, and are these the type of races that can challenge your favorite?
Well, listen, Fabulous Hanover obviously did a lot of the dirty work in this spot, and she finally got the lead in the stretch coming first over and got nailed by Wave Dancer, who just sat a nice inside trip, was able to tip out 3 wide and just ran down and paced down Fabulous Hanover in this spot. That's a nice way to get your first win, too, when you're 50-1 in this spot. So, for all intents and purposes, I'd like to see Wave Dancer do it again. I'll take Fabulous Hanover, though, over Wave Dancer.
The 9 Wave Dancer, trained by Linda Toscano, and the 3 Fabulous Hanover, trained by Nancy Tactor. So we'll see if they have an opportunity to knock off this big favorite right now at 8-5, Darlin's Angel. Post-parade time, $125,000, 1 mile pace. It's for these 2-year-old fillies. We're going to start with the number 1, Car Keys.
0-for-6 this season for Chris Ryder. Have to do better in this spot, but is situated well with a rail post tonight.
All right, here comes the number 2 is going to be next, and that's Amira Hanover, 8-1 currently on the board. Joe Bongiorno will be driving.
Last couple of starts leave something to be desired for this horse, but when she has been good, she's been good enough to contend in a spot like this. You're going to get paid nicely if you like her tonight, though.
Okay, the money man, I don't think he's going to be 87-1 right now, but he is the 3, and that's Fabulous Hanover.
You know, I know she's only 1 for 9 this year, but she did run into Louprint 3 times this year, and we know how good she was in destroying fields on her way to a Breeders' Crown win.
The 4 is On Air.
That's what we are right now.
We are.
We are On Air. Comes out of those Breeders' Crown races, did not compete in the final. Wasn't that great either in the elimination.
8-5 right now, Darlin's Angel.
Yeah, we spoke about her. 4-for-5. She should be the favorite in this spot.
And the 6, Yannick Gingras at 6-1.
And Pretty Brown Hanover was 4th last week, beaten 4 1/4 lengths. Probably needed that start coming off a September break.
21-1 on the 7, Tim Tetrick will drive.
Not a bad horse, really. You know, last time out, stepped up in this class, ran 2nd.
And the 8 at 39-1.
0-for-7 this year. I would be surprised if this horse did win tonight, but we've had bigger surprises on the card.
We spoke about Wave Dancer, huge number right now at 32-1.
I'd like to see Wave Dancer run it back. Got a very nice setup and trip last time out.
And way to the far outside, Heart of the Sunrise, at 55-1.
Just 1 for 9, now draws all the way outside after having the rail position last time out.
All right, there is the field here. Race number 11, 1 mile pace, $125,000. It's the 2-year-old fillies. Jessica Otten, Gabe Pruitt with plenty more on this 11th.
What a good group of 2-year-old pacing fillies we have in here, Gabe, coming from just about everywhere. And I know your top choice in here, taking some action on the board, 3-1 on Air. She hasn't seen New Jersey since the 12th of September, from Lexington up to Mohawk there in the Breeders' Crown. I thought she raced okay in that elimination. Never saw the rail in the final. It was kind of a wicked race there, you know, obviously with Louprint and the stock she is. She's been facing some tough company on Air.
And I think it's, you know, just a race you draw a line through. That was just an impossible task, tough trip, impossible trip, we'll say, with On Air there last out. And she raced that poorly. I mean, she, you know, still beat a few horses. beating 7 lengths here at the end of the day. So just mission impossible, we'll call it, from on air last out. I think that she does have, some tested stakes credentials, Jess, compared to some of the other fillies in here that, are obviously working their way up to face, some of the top level stakes fillies. So I think On Air at least brings the best stakes resume. That's enough for me here to give her a swing as the second choice right now at 3-1.
She also was second to Top Bill Lucky, and she wasn't Breeders' Crown eligible, so we didn't see her, of course, but a very impressive filly in her own right. She pays 26 flat behind her down in Lexington, so I think that also adds credit to her resume. She's a points leader in this division. She gets a good post to work with. 3-1 on the board. I'm sure you like that price.
Yeah, I do like the price. I hope it holds, and a lot of the reasoning for that is all that money's being driven to the 5 Darlings Angel. But that's okay with me. I thought, we would be the second choice, but I thought the discrepancy in price might be a little closer between the 4 and the 5. So to get triple the price right now, I'm very, very happy. I just hope it holds.
Darlin's Angel, of course, a daughter of Captain Treacherous and Darlin's Delight. Lauren Tritton has been her regular pilot throughout her 2-year-old campaign, 4 of 5, and she's rattled off 4 in a row. A pretty nice filly they have on their hands here. Gave lots of gate speed, and that's all we've really seen her do is leave it and get the lead.
Yeah, she's been really untested. There you see her, or I should say that's the 6th of the track there. Then we're talking about the 5 Darlings Angel. She's ripped off 4 in a row, Jess. She started with her lone loss. I'm not even going to hold that against her. She had all sorts of traffic trouble that night. She has won 4 in a row, 4 of 5 now, obviously, in her career. You mentioned her parents, of course, Captain Treacherous, one of the top sires in the sport. Her dam, her mother, Darlin's Delight. Well, she retired back in 2009. She earned just shy of $3 million. So, just an incredible resume for her mother. She's produced plenty of stakes talent as well, and she may have another here on her hands in Darlin's Angel. Again, 4 in a row. This is the toughest test of her career, and that's why it has me still taking a little bit of a swing against her. Even money. Obviously, I don't want to say she can't win this race. She most certainly can, but we just don't know exactly how good she is just yet. I think she's going to be tested tonight like she has in no other start. So that's what has me, leaning towards the 4 On Air horse. I think has been a little bit more tested to this point in their brief careers.
Nancy Tactor has had success in the Kindergarten Series overall. She'll send out 3 in this final. Fabulous Hanover, 6-1, taking money on the board right now. This is another daughter of Captain Treacherous. 1 lone win from those 9 starts. That came up in the Champlain at Mohawk. She was 3rd in the She's a Great Lady behind Luadipa and Dea. She was 2nd last time out, 3rd in the International Stallion. So she also owns a nice resume.
She does own a nice resume. One that I would not want to play for the top spot. She's the 3rd choice right now at 6-1. As Paul and Chris were just talking about, taking a look back at the replay, I mean, she was supposed to win that last race. She had a perfect trip as the even money favorite, and she got mowed down there by a 50-1 shot. That's the 9 in here, Wave Dancer, who, by the way, is nearly 50-1 to get in this spot. If you can't hold off Wave Dancer off a perfect trip, I don't know what you're going to do when you face the likes of the 4 and 5 in here. So I think a horse that could be close. I've just been a little bit disappointed with her win resume so far.
Can Dexter Dunn, Chris Ryder team up again with Car Keys?
And Car Keys, this one had some trouble coming out of that same replay. We saw Steve Smith, who, is a veteran reinsman here on the Northeastern Circuit, but, not many guys can say they're Dexter Dunn. Dexter returns to the bike tonight here from the inside. 4-treader Chris Ryder. I think he's going to have this one sitting close. She's winless in 6 starts in her career, but she's been on the board 4 of 6. You see Dex in the bike there as they get set to come to the gate. I think you'll have her well positioned here early. This is a little bit of a sneaky long shot, I think, on the board.
6-5 on Darlin's Angel. Lauren Tritton and Juan Cano are teaming up with this one. Here's Ken Workington with the call.
$125,000. The Kindergarten Series final for 2-year-old filly Pacers, sponsored by Crawford Farms. 6-5 on the 5 Darlin's Angel, at 5-2 the 4 On Air. They're ready for start. Here they come. They're off. Darlin's Angel and Pretty and Proud Hanover. Those two firing hard from between them there in Amira Hanover, and Car Keys showing up on the inside. Car Keys cuts the corner. They're 3 deep now. Amira Hanover settles in 4th on the inside. Fabulous Hanover gapped early in 5th to the opening quarter. Then comes On Air, followed by J.K. Fierce Lady and Caviar Madrid, and Wave Dancer, and Heart of the Sunrise Trails. Opening quarter was Torrid 26-2. And it's contested. Pretty and Proud Hanover presses on for Jingra to take over. Darlin's Angel now settles in second. Off the speed, Car Keys revved up in third. And Amira Hanover tightens in from fourth. And the pace is slowing, and they get jammed up and out of the pocket. Darlin's Angel retakes. That was Amira Hanover fourth, and starting up fifth on the outside is On Air. And then it's Fabulous Hanover on the inside with J.K. Fierce Lady and Caveat Madrid. Wave Dancer and Heart of the Sunrise. 55 for the half mile. So the target is Darlin's Angel. Darlin's Angel, Amira Hanover goes after her on the outside first over. Pretty and Proud Hanover is locked in the box third as they continue to three quarters. On Air in striking position, second over fourth, and peaking three wide. Car Keys was shuffled and buried and needs racing room. So does Fabulous Hanover on the inside. And a tough spot for J.K. Fierce Lady over at three quarters. And it's Darlin's Angel and Lauren Tritton in 1:23.1 into the stretch drive of the kindergarten final. And it's still Darlin's Angel clings to a short lead. A revved up Pretty and Proud Hanover on the outside lets her have it. Full out is Car Key, some late pace from Fabulous Hanover on the outside, but it's Pretty and Proud Hanover with an 8-1 upset for Gingras. Pretty and Proud Hanover, then Fabulous Hanover, Darlin's Angel, and Wave Dancer in 1:51.1.
The number 6, Pretty and Proud Hanover, Yannick Gingras gets the job done there and paces down your big favorite.
Yeah, was able to clear to the top. The 5 retaked, and then 6 had a tough trip early because Dexter Dunn shut the door on Pretty Proud Hanover early, so Yannick Gingras had to go. But the trip ultimately worked out in the end and really paced away late from this group.
Looks like the number 3, Fabulous Hanover, getting up for second in there, and it did look like the favorite Darlin's Angel held on for third. But a nice effort there from the 6, Pretty and Proud Hanover, a 2-year-old. Down by the seaside to get the victory.
Yeah, 6 for 9 now, and we'll get close to that $100,000 mark, if not over it, with this win.
All right, and that's going to set her up for what maybe things up ahead, things in the future. What do you take from this effort for this 2-year-old?
We'll see. This was a nice effort, and being 6 for 9, for seasons, nothing to sneeze at, no matter who you're running against. So she's shown she can hang, and she had a little bit of trouble early on and had to clear and got retaked over, but fell into the right trip and was able to put away Darlin's Angel, who just didn't have enough after being roughed up a little bit on the front end.
5 for 8 coming into the season, now 6 for 9 with that victory. The number 6 and Pretty and Proud Hanover. Didn't see the off odds on there. Did you see?
I don't know if this horse was 8-1. I have to double check that. I know this horse was a little bit of a price going to the gate for sure.
Been a night of some prices here, as we've seen a few prices on the night. And we see Pretty and Proud Hanover coming back towards the winner's circle.
Yeah, and Fabulous Hanover coming from out of it to be second. Had a little bit of trouble there, need to find a way, and did, but just too late to get to the winner.
And there is Yannick Gingras. He's had a pretty good night as well, driving.
Green Hornet, always. He's always got a big shot, no matter who he's behind driving. That's for sure. And especially when he teams up with certain trainers. This time it was with Joe Bongiorno, but we've seen him do well for Ron Burke and a few others as well.
All right, we're watching the winner getting back towards the winner's circle in here, and I'm going to look for Jessica Otten and see if she is sprinting out there to catch a quick interview. She might be on her way out there for Yannick Gingras, setting up for that winning interview. Working hard all night, of course, and there they are right now.
Thanks, guys. Winning driver, Yannick Gingras, Pretty and Proud Hanover here. First and foremost, Yannick, she left aggressively off of the gate. She looks like a really nice, strong, big filly.
Yeah, she really is. Talked to Joe before the race, and he says, try to be aggressive, try to have her up close. She should be really, really good, and she delivered.
You took things into your own hands, taking over the lead there. Darlin Delight overtook up the backstretch. But she was a nice filly, the one on your back, or the one in front of you, excuse me. She paced home really nicely.
Oh, she sure did. The other one is good, but she hasn't faced no test. So it's been a long year for all of them. But now, the big races are coming, so it's a little harder. It's a little harder racing, and this one delivered.
As a driver, what do you think about the kindergarten series? The horses that might just need a little bit more time to develop. As a horse like this, I mean, she's big, obviously growing into herself.
Yeah, it is. It's what it was created at the beginning. Is for horses like her, right? A little late developer, late comers. The last few years they were going for so much money that you had British Crown champion racing in it. So I think I kind of like the way they went back to to this version of it for the, maybe the less developed horses.
Nice job.
Thank you so much.
There you have it. Yannick Gingras takes the 2-year-old filly pace kindergarten classic final. Back to you guys.
Great work out there from Jessica Otten, as always, and of course Gabe Pruitt. They've been trackside all night there at the Meadowlands, and you do take a look at Yannick Gingras, Pretty and Proud Hanover. They get the victory, and talked about the kindergarten series and enjoying that as well.
Yeah, and as Yannick said, it's a great way to get horses that get a late start on the year or may not be that high of a class yet to be able to race for some good money, and they went back to that this year, and it worked out well tonight.
Really nice performance there from the 6. Darlin's Angel just didn't have enough left in the drive, I guess, towards the end.
Well, it was interesting, too, to hear Yannick Gingras say that, she had never been really tested until tonight. And she got tested, and she faltered late and ended up 3rd.
All right, getting set for plenty more. We've got one more show coming up, right? We've got the prices coming up for the 11th and final there, the exacta trifecta. It continues. We saw double-digit pretty much payouts all night.
And that's always a good thing for bettors out there, to be able to latch on to some prices that you like and be able to play them and have them come in.
Hey, don't forget, we've got one show left, my friend,
yes, we
to
do.
round out the year, and that's going to be on November 15th. So looking forward to that. That's going to be the Final Four, the fall Final Four. So really looking forward to that standardbred harness racing action still ahead.
Yeah, $2.6 million in purses. Going to see some big names there. Going to be a lot of fun.
Love it. Next show, it's going to be tomorrow. America's Day at the Races starts at 11:30. Make sure you roll those clocks back a little bit. It's fall back, and there were some of our winners on the evening. Busy Miss Lissa you saw. Then we saw that big long shot there down towards the inside. Twin B 7 Sins with a big victory. So much more. We got one more show for harness. Join us tomorrow. America's Day at the Races at 11:30.